Okay, I think that's enough Trailer Park Boys. I don't want Chris to go nuts. Hello, everyone. I've sent the link to a few people, and before people join me, I want to cover something that's pretty important to me. In the description to this, there's a link to a channel called Nikki Loves. Nikki Loves sent me a message today, and I went to her channel, and she had a video message for me. It turns out that she had been banned from my chat here at some point a few weeks ago. Now, I didn't know this because if I was in the chat, if I was in the Hangout, she hadn't done anything that warranted being booted, okay? In fact, what she'd done was point out that Yvette was in the chat and somebody booted her. Now, I blocked her. So I have unblocked her. I've put the name of her channel in the description. If people would show some support to this woman who went out of her way to make a video to point this out to me, because I didn't know that I had mods that were blocking people that had not done anything abusive or offensive. So it turns out I do have such mods. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask all of the mods out there to watch all of the other mods out there. And if you see that anybody gets banned without having actually said anything abusive or offensive or spamming, then please let me know and I will unwrench the person that's done that banning. Because what's happened is, as a result of Yvette, that's Yvette Zarate or Rebel and other people, as a result of their behavior, which is calculated and premeditated and planned. Because of their behavior, there's now a lot of suspicion within flat earthers, with mods, between people who have channels whose mods behave or misbehave, and this just causes doubt. So their job, the infiltrator's job, like Yvette, is to cause that, to cause doubt, to cause people to second guess themselves or others and be suspicious of everybody. So I urge people, be suspicious of everybody if you want, or don't be suspicious of everybody if you want. Do whatever you would like to do. But if you see something that strikes you as a bit odd or a bit interesting, feel free to contact whoever it is that you moderate for and let them know. I know Hillbilly has mods, and I can't wait for Hillbilly to come back. I miss it. I tell you what, I'm missing that dude. But we who have channels and do things like Hangouts, we have moderators that, we trust the moderators, but we don't know all of them. So I've unmodded people a few weeks ago, actually. I unmodded some people. I don't know whether I unmodded whoever it was that banned Nikki Loves. I don't know. The person might still be out there, okay? But I urge everybody, take it easy with people. Only ban people for being abusive or in some other way manipulative, because the reason for abuse is to manipulate the emotions of whoever's being abused or whoever it is that reads the abuse. So if they're not doing this, let them in. I already have Gem Panda banned in a whole series of accounts. If he wants to come in, if he's not being an ass, let him. If he comes in and he starts being an ass, then block him. And the same with everybody else. So that's it. Nikki Loves, channel in the description. I've subscribed to her because what she did was actually pretty kind. She didn't have to do that. She could have just sat back and thought, Antonio's an asshole. One of his mods blocked me and he can't be asked checking who's been blocked. Truth is, I don't really know how you check. I know Vincent does. How you check your blocked list, I don't really know how all that works. I can ask Vincent. But I've been banned from places before, and I know what it's like. You get banned, and you think, somebody banned me. You don't know who's banned you. You just know that you've been banned, and you think, oh, okay, I've been banned. At first, you automatically assume the people that are hosting whatever chat you're in, whatever hangout that's going on, you automatically assume that they know this. Now that I have more experience, I realize they don't. Sometimes 100 people will get banned, and the person that's actually hosting the hangout doesn't know that any of that's going on. In fact, I haven't checked my chat since I started this, so I don't really know what's going on there right now. From time to time, when I have people in here and they're chatting, I'll go and look in the chat and see what's going on, and usually I type hi to people. But unless you do this, you don't see who's being banned. So she went out of her way to make a video to bring this to my attention, and God knows how many other people are out there who have been through a similar experience, were banned for not doing anything abusive, who haven't decided to get in contact. I know a couple of people have sent me messages, but she made a video explaining what happened. So I have a big gratitude for that, and I would urge anybody, if you want, go watch the video. It's only short. Subscribe to her. Why not? You won't get any, there's no limit to how many people you can subscribe to. So I've subscribed to her and written her a couple of messages. And that's it. So bravo to her. Also, read the comments from Yvette. She explains in the video, that she got banned for saying, excuse my French. Okay, it's after the watershed. Excuse my French. But she said pretty much, Yvette's in the chat. What the fuck? And she got banned. Okay, so Yvette is under that video describing, well, Antonio's a misogynist and this and this. Like, dude, in the video, she's described that you're not to be trusted, that she knows that she can see through you. But she's still there. Antonio is a misogynist. He must be because whatever. If Yvette was a guy, he wouldn't be able to say I was a misogynist. This is just one of those divisive little tactics. So I'm pretty sure that people don't fall for it. She certainly hasn't. So that's it. Poncho Pete has joined us, and Sergey Maltaf has joined us. Hey, Poncho. Thanks for dropping your hangout to come on this.
That's all right.
Yeah. So Vincent P has joined us too. I have just explained to people, Vincent, that somebody sent me a message who was banned. I explained this to you before. Nikki Loves. I put the description to her channel, a link to her channel in the description. And if people want to show, support, if you don't have to, but I would. If I was watching this, if I was one of you guys watching this, I think, right, so somebody went out of the way to make a video to bring attention to this. Yeah, I'm subbing that person. So,
exactly, Antonio. Well, you're totally right. Things are happening. We talked about it on the phone, and weird things are happening.
Yes.
People just keep on banning with other names, or it's just take away I'm gonna take away all the wrenches, and only the people that I saw in real, not only in real life, but with the camera on and with the face and with the normal voice, I will give them a wrench.
And then everybody else loses the wrenches.
Yes, no, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to remove all the wrenches from people. If you're a good person, then you should actually be a bit relieved, because you know that it's hard work sometimes and you don't really get to enjoy the hangout. So you should be like, okay, well, I understand, that's fine. If you have a problem with it, then that's why I'm removing your wrench. Okay, so because you might note, Yvette has gone into ODD and said, ODD, give me a wrench, give me a wrench. I'm not confident posting here unless you give me a wrench.
Yep.
So now she's just the point for people infiltrating any kind of social movement, political movements, philosophical movement, whatever. The point for the infiltration is to cause a variety of different symptoms within that movement. Mm-hmm. So it can be distrust, it can be blackmail, it can be a whole series of things. So right now, we flat earthers are having lots of flat earthers suspicious of other flat earthers. So that's what's happened. We don't know, and nobody can know apart from themselves, that the other person is a flat earther unless you meet with them, you sit with them, you understand, you know them. Okay, so I can put my hand on my heart and say Poncho's a flat earther.
But I haven't got a wrench. Screw you, Antonio.
Well, come on. We had a script. We worked through this, Pete. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. Let me read the script.
Let me just turn the page.
And then Poncho has an outburst and says, "Fuck you, Antonio." And I say, "Poncho, come on, man. We went through this. See, we went through."
Oh, I missed to say, sorry guys, I need coffee.
Yes, come on. Okay, so what I'm saying, Sergey, I have no doubt whatsoever that he's a flat earther. And to be a genuine flat earther means you understand first that we don't know fuck all what the sun is, what the moon is. There's lots of things we don't know, and neither do the globelings. In fact, the globelings think that that's a unicorn. And I say, no, it can't be a unicorn. Unicorns don't really exist, you know? So I did a thing yesterday, Eddie Bravo. If you get 3 unicorns with math, okay, if you take 3 unicorns and you add 3 more unicorns, you have 6 unicorns. That's 3 and 3 equals 6. Yes, but unicorns don't exist. So if you have light years times infinite time backwards and these effects, you might as well be talking about unicorns, okay? It's just...
Is that how fast unicorns age? Jeez.
No, dude, come on, they're eternal. They're eternal, and they can revive you. Funnily enough, they can revive you by stabbing you in the heart with their horn, I believe. Huh? That's what happens with beliefs.
Right, we can estimate the distance to the sun as 93 million unicorn years.
Yes, exactly. That's it. 93 million unicorn years. Let me wrap up on this thing with the purpose of infiltrators. Now we have flat earthers who are suspicious of other flat earthers because of their moderators, okay? Because of things that go on their chats. And it's just the whole point of it is to cause confusion, because you have to confuse to multiply and divide to conquer. So first is confusion. You don't know who to trust, who not to trust. You see a moderator that you've always got on well with doing something you don't really understand. Now you're confused. Confuse to multiply and divide to conquer. Step 1, confuse, cause doubt. That's confusing, okay? You don't know whether to trust your senses or not, because you trusted them before. It always played out fine before. Now you're seeing something that makes you doubt. That's confusion, okay? So that's what we're seeing. And what's going to happen is it will become more and more obvious who these people are, because the tactics of the art of war were absolutely fine in the old world, because in the old world, we didn't have the systems for communication that we have now. So we didn't know, for instance, they didn't know that the earth was flat, okay? They still believed that the scientists and the people with the long pointy beards really knew stuff. They didn't understand that they were just talking about their ideas as if they were true. So now we live in a different era. We live post 2012. The Mayans were right. The world changes after 2012. The level of consciousness changes after 2012. But the old world can't keep up and develop new systems. They have to use the old systems, like infiltration. So they're using infiltration, like planting really negative seeds, like that is the Jews, you know, that there's now people out there who are saying very, very dodgy things about the age of consent. I won't go any further than that, but there are flatter people who are apparently a flat earther saying some very dubious things. So you see this, and if you see this, call it out. Call it out. You don't have to call it and cause a problem in the hangout, in the chat. I mean, you can call it out simply by getting in contact, if you're a moderator, with whomever it is. And if you're not a moderator and you see something going on, you can send us a message. We won't not appreciate it. So that's it. That's what we have right now. We have people in the flat earth. We bitch slapped them a few weeks ago, Poncho and Pete. We bitch slapped them and we said, come on, you know, we know who you are and we know what you're doing. And they had a hissy fit. Their plan, we foiled their plan. Their plan was actually to go and stay at Bob and Camille Odell's house. This was Snack and Yvette were planning to house sit for them. Okay. They're not very far away from what's his name? Jace Hornsby, or whatever.
Jason Carl Hornsby.
Yes, Jason Carl Hornsby, who, by the way, some of you might not be aware of this. I was in a hangout with Issa Mahal, and he was in there. And after a couple of words, we decided that we would get into a little fisticuffs, okay? That we would actually engage in an MMA fight. In that hangout, we came to an agreement. I made him understand. I made it clear that he was entering into an agreement that we would fight in Carolina when the conference goes on in in a real ring, really, not in a street with bricks and bars. In a ring, we would fight MMA rules with a referee, a doctor, everything organized. Nobody would get killed, okay? He agreed to this. He also agreed that it would be filmed, that it would be videoed, and it would be broadcast live on a hangout of mine. And he could do what he wanted from him and his team, okay? He agreed to this. He also agreed that before the fight, there would be a debate, which would also be videoed and streamed live. So he agreed to show his face. Now, we find Jason Carl Hornsby. He declares that's not him. And he says, I'm not going to the fight. Of course, because he declared that that wasn't him. He had to, because we found him. So now he can't turn up to the fight, because we'd say, it was you, wasn't it, you little twat? So that's what's happened. That's what the dude has done. Chris Trueseeker's here. How you doing, mate?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Chris.
At the very start.
Sorry?
Hey, Chris.
Did you catch the very start of this?
I missed the first 10 minutes, so I'll have to watch it. But yeah, I've been watching.
You might not want to, Chris. I was just going to say, if you didn't catch the start, then you missed the Trailer Park Boys intro.
All right.
Antonio,
yes.
Pass it to me, please.
Pass you, huh? You're muted.
It's inside chat.
Inside chat. Oh, wait. Right. Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Miles away. Admin work. Admin. Okay. So, all of you. And, Chris, you've just joined. Okay. So, I explained to people in the chat. The reason I did this was I thought, do you know what? This woman's gone out of her way to make a video to bring something to my attention. And it's been there since the 12th of May. I didn't know it was there. Okay. I watched it and I thought, dude, I didn't even know this had happened. Okay. So, I thought I'm going to make a hangout and explain to people what's happening, how there are moderators out there who are causing problems. Now, some of them might be causing problems because they get the wrong end of the stick, as we say in England. And some of them might be causing problems simply because they're here to cause problems, okay? To cause dissent between moderators, to cause mistrust of the people in the hangout for having allocated certain people as moderators. So I thought I'm just going to fire up a hangout, explain this to people, and then also use the opportunity to go over the sun tracking that we're going to do soon, and also announce the Blackpool meetup. So we will be meeting in Blackpool on the 8th of July. On the 8th of July, meet up in Blackpool. Might be raining, it might be lovely, okay? It is the 8th. Yes, the 8th. We will be meeting in Blackpool. Everybody welcomed. Bring Globling friends too. Don't think that, only if somebody's a flat earther are they welcome.
I can't come.
Yes. So, say again.
I can't come.
Why?
Got to win it.
Oh, you can't cancel it. You're such a penny pincher.
I'm sorry. It's for a children's hospital for cancer awareness.
Okay, fair enough.
The last 6 years doing it for them.
Fair enough. Shit. Well, it's going to be a weekend thing, so maybe you can do it maybe you can come up on Sunday. I don't know.
On the 9th.
Say again?
I've got 3 jobs on the 9th.
Oh, get you, Mr. Moneybags. Dude, that's a bummer.
On a birthday. So, yeah, I can't come, sorry.
Oh, no magic for people.
Uh-huh.
It would just be me and my guitar and kumbaya.
Marshmallows.
It's going to be chamber. No, what it's going to be, okay, we're going to meet in a park somewhere in Blackpool that we'll find wherever this park is. We might meet on the beachfront, don't know yet. We've got weeks. And then we'll go somewhere where we can have open air barbecues. I'm urging people to bring a barbecue, to bring some food or bring some sandwiches, snacks, whatever, and just chill there for the day. If there are very fair-skinned people and it's a hot day, bring something that will give you shelter in case all the trees are, overcrowded. And that's it. Bring some music if you want. Bring musical instruments if you want. Bring art if you want. Bring whatever you like. And like I say, you're welcome to bring people. You're welcome to bring your children. You're welcome to bring people who are not flat earthers. It's just going to be a chilled thing in a park, completely free. Okay. Now, after this, some of us will be staying in a campsite. I'll announce the campsite once I've booked my place in it. And, I'll announce it if people can find a place and come, or even if there isn't any place and there's a place base in some other campsite and you get a booking there, then you can come and hang out with us until you have to go away. I don't know if they make people go away. You could just sit there all the time and just snooze, couldn't you? How are they going to stop you doing that late at night? Anyway, yeah, so there you go. That's going to be the Blackpool meetup. And the sun tracking. Oh, Karen B. Where's Karen B? Might be in bed. I'm going to send her the link.
Don't tell me you forgot to send the link.
Yeah, no, I posted it in Sheldon Cooper.
All right. Well, she might be busy.
She might.
Did you mention something about the Renses in ODD today and this morning?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm not sure. You can take away my rents, but I had to unban 12 people this morning because there are people banning people in his chat for saying nothing weird, not racist, not stupid things. They just say, "Oh, I don't believe it's a flat Earth, but I will look at it," or whatever. They immediately be banned, and I think it's a sad thing because there are people watching this, and maybe they don't agree what's happening at that moment, but they are still watching. So if you ban them immediately, I don't know why. If you ban them immediately, they won't have any opportunity
to watch.
They just said, "Okay, I'm already banned, so why are you doing this?" So they leave. So my question to everybody is, please do not ban people immediately there. We can do whatever.
Or better than this. If you see somebody banning someone, because all moderators can see who's banning and who's deleting what comments, okay? If you see that somebody is deleting comments that do not deserve deleting, or blocking someone, banning someone who has not done anything wrong, make a note of it. If you're a moderator, make a note of that channel name.
Yeah, we did.
Go to ODD or come to me or go to anybody else that you have confidence in that will get a message through to him, and we'll get a message through to him. Because this is what these moderators are doing. They are causing problems.
Or even better, you could take a screenshot, which will then obviously prove what you're claiming, because people can be manipulative. But if you've got something like a screenshot, unless you're particularly talented at Photoshop, it's very hard to recreate that evidence, and it's there, to back up what you're saying.
Chris, I know exactly what you mean, but people were there. Plain Truth was there. He called me a couple of times on the phone. He said, "Vinny, do you see what's happening there?" I said, "Yes, I'm trying to unban all the people because there are coming new people into it, and they keep on banning people. I don't know why." So I didn't have the chance to make screenshots or whatever. I just woke up and it was so busy there, and people with the rents did not unban them. And when I unban them, they say, "Oh, yes, we were just Rebel." She said to me, "Oh, Vincent P, thanks for doing that because I just wanted to go and do that." But hello, you were there, so you already had the chance to do it. You don't have to wait for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
You don't have to wait for me, and you don't have to say my name because nobody saw me chatting. I only unban people, and they say, "Oh, well, thanks for doing that. I just wanted to do that." Well, you can do it without telling me. What's?
Yeah, I understand that.
I'm not a rants guy. You can delete my rants. Really, I don't need to be there. But I'm sorry.
I know what you're saying. Sometimes when you're ghost moderating, if you're just there to moderate and then people acknowledge what you're doing, that can only be seen by other moderators. I just wanted to say to everybody, it's perhaps not always a good idea to point that out, because you've got to bear in mind that person might not want to participate in the chat and might not want to have to go through saying hello to everybody, etc.
Hey,
they may well
Chris,
just be ghost moderating.
Chris, sorry, we've got that going on right now. Okay, somebody. Oh right, okay. I was going to say somebody has banned Xanadude60 and then unbanned Xanadude60. It was Globebusters banned Xanadude60 and then Globebusters unbanned Xanadude60. Maybe he's doing it to show people what happened and how it's done. Okay,
it is kind of funny, but
yeah, that's
okay.
So the other moderators can see it, and it's funny because now all the other moderators can see, oh, that guy got banned by himself. Yeah, and you can see that's a perfect example. Thanks, Bob. Perfect example of what happens when somebody gets banned. The other moderators can see such a body was banned by this channel. Okay, so make a note, and I will have to unwrench Globebusters because he keeps banning that Xanadude60
himself.
No, the only thing that I wanted to say, Antonio, is that I'm not a wrench guy. I'm not asking for wrenches. I'm not. I can do I do my best, but some people keep on asking for wrenches. I don't know know why. It's a status thing, or I don't know why, but come on, people.
Yes.
Just let people just have their comment. If they're racist or doing bad things, okay, just time them out and then delete them or whatever. But come on, everybody, come on. You can take away all my ranches on every channel. I don't care. It's just I don't like the way how it's going.
Some of the people who Marie has just asked me for a wrench, and I know Marie, friends of Martin Nick, we've spoken lots of times, so she has a wrench. But if people are banned now, all the other wrenches will be monitoring the other wrenches for who's banning who and for what reason. Yeah. Wait a minute. What am I seeing? Globebusters was unbanned by Chris Truthseeker. All right. Okay.
That's Globe Thrusters.
Oh, Globe Thrusters.
A lot of people mistake him for a troll account, but
yes.
As far as I'm aware, he's a genuine guy who just chose the name like tongue-in-cheek as a joke. Yeah. Nothing malicious.
Yes.
He's not trying to be funny or malicious. He's
he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy.
So this is the thing, people, okay? This is for the moderators. Unless somebody comes on with an abusive comment or an abusively named channel, don't ban them. Don't ban them. See, lots of people have been banned, including myself, on IPS. I was unbanned because I brought it attention to him, and I have my suspicions of who banned me. But because I was a moderator when I was banned, I didn't see who it was that banned me. But don't ban people. Let people. We're not doing this to preach to the choir. That's kind of, it's fun, but it's a bit kind of pointless. Lots of fun things are pointless, by the way. But like drinking alcohol, that's fun and totally pointless. But we're doing this to try to reach more people. We want more people to have access to the questions that will help them see that this is not a spinning ball going through space. Correct. Then they might go into our channels and look through and go, oh, gyroscopes, that's interesting, Mr. Durham and Mr. Savage. Oh, Globebusters, that's interesting, but bloody hell, we want to do this. So if people come in, they might say, what the hell's going on in here? And boom, get banned. If they get banned, then they bugger off somewhere else and go and watch somebody playing World of Warcraft or something. So don't ban them unless they're abusive. There's no need for it. And now I'm going to move on to sun tracking. This time, sun tracking is going to be done simultaneously. Oh, just thought of somebody else that I might send a link to. Karen will join in 10.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say one thing, Antonio. We got this soundtrack channel, and this soundtrack channel. Well, I'm not begging for subscribers, but people who wants to participate with the soundtrack, please go to the soundtrack channel because we're gonna do the soundtrack on the sun.
This is live. Whoa. Somebody join. Who's that? Who's that? Sergey? That's Sergey. No, it's Dan.
Watch page open.
Yes, Dan, you have your either your watch page open or the sound just kicked in. Turn your thingy down if you can, volume. Yes, Vincent P set up and Chris Truthseeker set up a channel called the Sun Tracking Channel. Am I right?
Yes.
Right.
No, I can't take. It was Vincent that did it. I can't take credit for that. So
is this shit echoing, guys? I'm sorry. Is this shit echoing?
No, it's good now. It's just when you came in, it was like it sounded like you had the watch page open and playing, but it's fine now, Dan. Okay, so there's a channel out there that doesn't really have much on it called the Sun Tracking Channel, and that's where we will be doing the sun tracking. It won't be this channel. It won't be the other channel that I have. It would be that channel. And this time, the objections, you see, the Globelings are really good. Their constructive criticism is great. They said you can't really establish the elevation angle from a 5 centimeter gnomon very accurately. So you're going to establish it pretty accurately, but okay, we're going to make it a 1 meter gnomon. If you're in the US and you're using imperial, why the hell are you using imperial? You inherited that from the British Empire, and the British Empire uses both now, which you do too. But what the hell? How can you shirk the British Empire and not their measurements? So get used to centimeters. They're really cool. You know, it's a base 10 system. So 1 meter, which is 100 centimeters, gnomon. I suggest a broomstick, a cheap broomstick. Wooden handle, cut it so that you've got maybe this much to bury in the ground. So you cut it, you're going to bury it in the ground, you're going to stick it like one of those summer umbrella things. But before you do, you're going to lay it on the ground, you're going to take a long nail and you're going to tap it into the wood. This nail will be, when you put it up, will be at right angles, more or less. Not absolutely indispensable that it be right angles. This nail will be like this. I'll draw it now that I have new pens. Okay. This is what you'll have. A stick that has a nail coming out.
Oh, you just destroyed the Humpty Dumpty.
Yes, it has a nail coming out. No, that's not very clear. Okay. You will have a stick, and near the top, as close to the top as you can. In fact, you could even put it on the very top and bend it, okay? The point of this is to hang a plumb line. You don't have to buy a plumb line. You can make yourself one. All you need is anything that's tied to a string, thin string, not a big freaking rock, sailor's rope or something. A string, piece of string, a piece of wool, whatever, for knit. Drop it, and this will show you, and all the globelings and everybody watching the sun tracking, this will show that the stick is vertical. If it's not vertical, okay, then this is going to drop down towards the ground, and you will have this, or you will have this, depending on how unvertical it is, okay? And this will be from the side and from the front. Now I'm going to draw more of a box. Okay, this off. Here's the nail. Okay, this is your broomstick. Here's the nail. If it's vertical, it will go down like this. If it's leaning to one side, it will do this. And if it's leaning to the other, it will do likewise, but the other way, here. Okay, you want this to be long. You don't want it to be a couple of centimeters long. You want it to be almost as long as the floor. The longer, the more accurate. This will tell you that your meter long gnomon is vertical. You don't need to be there with a level and a set square. This is much easier, and this is the way it's done out there. You stick a stick on the ground and you move it until the thing stays completely vertical, the plumb line, and that's it.
The wind.
It's done.
The wind.
Yes, no, it will have to be very strong wind to move this. Okay, very strong wind. So no, unless you have a big flat shaped, the wind will do nothing to a plumb line. It would have to be very, very strong wind, in which case don't bother joining, because we won't be able to hear you, because your mic will only pick up wind sound. So this is what you need to do. You need to get a broomstick or some other straight wooden post to drive into the ground with a nail at the top, so you can drop a plumb line that you're going to leave there continuously. The plumb line is not there just so you can set it up vertical and you remove the plumb line. The plumb line is there to demonstrate to people, like with the gyroscope, that it's vertical. You see, the globelings like to say, oh, well, if it gives a reading that doesn't approve, that we don't approve with, like the gyroscope not displaying drift, then there must be something wrong with it. So you leave the plumb line up, so they don't have that objection. They can't say it's leaning, okay? And the readings this time are going to be simultaneous, so it's going to be chaos, okay? We will take readings. We'll wait until people have joined us that can see the sun, and we will just take readings across the board, okay? Distance of your shadow and angle. And we're going to see when I say angle, I mean azimuth, okay? We're going to set this up. We're going to work. We're not going to go for solar noon exclusively. We will do the whole solar noon thing, but it will turn out that at some point it would be somebody's solar noon, while somebody else who is measuring the sun at the same time is not their solar noon. And some of the time it will turn out that it's somebody's solar noon, and somebody else on the same longitude, supposedly, does not have that same solar noon. We will have all kinds of stuff. What this is going to show is that north and Polaris and your compass points north, which is something that Sub Johnny found. He found that his solar noon was north on the compass and was north with Polaris. That was his solar noon when he did his solar noon tracking when he joined us, okay? We've been joined by Brian here, and I don't know whether Brian's going to want to describe what you found yet, or whether you still want to work with it, but I hope you join us for the sun tracking. Hey Brian.
How's it going?
All good. Do you want to describe
Antonio, you didn't mention anything about the surface around the stick, how flat it should be.
Well, if people are going to be doing sun tracking, then maybe better they don't put it on the side of a hill, maybe better that they look and it's like, yeah, flat level. If there are undulations, you can establish that you're not on the side of a hill. That's it. Just establish you're not on the side of a hill. If you want to get yourself a carpenter's level, which is a meter long, then get yourself a carpenter's level and put it down and show that it's flat. Okay, Ryan.
Hi.
You want to tell people what you showed me?
Yeah. Actually, hey, do me a favor, real quick. Let me present something. Show you what I'm doing right now.
Sure.
Uh-oh.
You pull it up.
I'll be gone.
Hey, we also have Dan Falkenbach, who's listening there in the background. I don't know if he's still with Flat Earth Asshole. He did a hangout yesterday with...
Yes.
I missed it, dude. I wish I'd at least listened to it live.
Yeah, Flat Earth Asshole's car got towed this morning, and I just got done paying $270 for the bill.
Why did it get towed?
We're dealing with some agents. What are they called? The Matrix basically is closing in on us, and so I just bit the bullet.
Yeah, but Dan, tell people why it got towed, like the reason that they gave you, and then people can put two and two together. So, what was the reason they towed the car?
It's fucked up. The whole situation's fucking fucked up. First off, my roommate's been here for 10 years, and that doesn't happen. I've lived. I parked my car here for 6 months before, and not only that. Recently, there was I had a friend over, and their car was they stayed overnight, and there was no problem there. What else? My roommate just called. I just got done talking to him, and he said that he's like, dude, that's fucked up, man. I didn't think that they did that. And then I talked to a lady because Flat Earth Asshole was freaking out because he went to go to his car and it was gone. He's like, my car is gone. He's like, fucking dude, waking up in the morning and having your car be gone with your computer and all of his wallet, everything was in there.
Hey, at least it wasn't stolen. It was only kidnapped for ransom.
Oh, it was weird, man. Freaking so Asshole. You want to explain the towing shit here? Yeah, here he comes. Come on, guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, it's
hello.
You're not on camera. I'm not on camera. No.
You can put your camera on though. It would be better for the people, for the viewers, because you're a pretty boy.
I'm following you for months, man.
Yeah, and after Jake tells us what happened, I'll give you a bit of background info too.
Get over here.
There you are. Dan, can you draw the blinds? Yeah. Otherwise, he's going to be accused of trying to pass himself off for Jesus with a halo behind his head. All right, cool. Hey, Jake, how you doing, mate?
Honest. Been on the road for about 2 days. Had Dan put me up last night, and we stayed up last night, did a chat pretty much 2-3 hours long, and it was fun. And then woke up this morning, went out to my car, and my car was gone. So I ran around the parking lot oh man, it's gone. All my stuff's in there, my computer, wallet, my clothes. I'm on a trip, for weeks, so all my shit's in there. So I started panicking. I immediately went to, they stole it. They stole it. And it's dude, he's calm down. His price got towed. And then once we found out that you needed a permit to park inside the apartments, and we read the sign, he was like, oh,
they
shit.
just put it up this past 6 months.
So apparently a lot of people have gotten away with parking here, and I was the unlucky winner of not getting away with it last night. So either you need to have a parking permit to park in his apartments, but he didn't know. He just told me, hey man, park here. And I was like, okay. And yeah, so
it's my bad. $270 down the drain.
So I had to hook him up with some party favors for his troubles, man. But we went to the tow lot. You here to pick up a car? Yeah. And he goes, we're heading out to lunch. We'll be back in just a little bit.
And they smiled at us. They literally, we got there. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, you here to pick up your car? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, they smile and they're like, we're going to lunch. See you, and whatever. And they just walked away. I go, she smiled at me. And I'm like, they're smiling. What the fuck? I'm like, I live in a twilight zone. What's going on here? But on the Uber ride, we talked to the Uber guy about the NASA lies, and we talked to the tow guy. I was so pissed off. I'm like, yeah, I'm taking your coffee and I'm gonna fucking burst your reality bubble, you asshole.
Yeah, we got the shirts going too. You know what I mean? Not not every day you get both these at the same time going. You know what I mean?
Oh man, we should have. Sorry guys, but Antonio, you should have them here in Grimsby together with Poncho.
Yeah.
Shirts, the beach.
Yeah.
Hello, Karen. Hello, Karen.
Hi.
Hey, Karen.
Hey, you guys.
Okay,
Hi,
so
Karen.
listen, just to give a little bit of background to what Jake's just describing. Yes, it could be just coincidence. Dan has pointed out somehow this coincidence didn't happen when his pals stayed or housemates and various, but it could be just coincidence. But
we park in a spot we're not supposed to, so we're talking about that. Or is somebody following me on my trip and then like, well, let's drain his bank account with this. You know what I mean? Let's fuck this guy. So I have that complex going at the same time, but I also don't want to think that everyone's out to get me all the time. So it's one of those.
But what I wanted to flesh out was if you've seen. So Jake is a friend of Math Powerland. If any of you guys have watched his most recent video, after doing a comedy show, Math and his wife are driving home and are pulled by marshals. Okay, now apparently in the US, marshals don't do traffic controls. It's really kind of fugitives or whatever. They get pulled by marshals who want to check her ID. They want to check her driver's license. When they check on their system, her driver's license doesn't exist. So obviously she has a driver's license because she's given it to them. They're checking it and the system's coming back that it doesn't exist. So these guys say, don't know, either a glitch on the computer system or you don't exist. Okay, so this is Math Powerland. They pulled her. She wasn't weaving in the streets. She wasn't trying to hit people with her door, or anything. She was just pulled. Okay, so in the US, you've got various different law enforcement agencies, and that's totally fine as long as you deal with them with lack of animosity, so that they don't feel like you're a threat. Okay, so you have a whole bunch of different organizations that can cause you problems, and if they want to, they will. So Jake has had problems caused to him. Now, you can say it was just coincidence. Maybe he shouldn't have parked there. But you can't say the same thing for Math Powerland and his wife, who are driving home. They're not drunk. They've been stopped. They get told that her driver's license doesn't exist. They can't verify that it exists. They get told that their car might be towed just as a towing truck pulls up. So it's like, when did dispatch send a call to this tow truck to go here to pick this car up? If they've just been stopped and told that because the license didn't show, they might have to tow the car. It sounds like something that's premeditated. Now, here in the UK, we had a bomb a couple of weeks ago. Apparently, it wasn't a bomb. I was stood outside, not very far from it. There was a bunch of bullshit. It's come out here in the UK that the fire brigade, who are the guys that are supposed to go into buildings after a bomb has happened, okay? It's the fire brigade, the guys that deal with gas explosions. Those are the guys that deal with explosions. They were stopped from attending by the police. So they complained to the media. They've written letters and they've made a ruckus because that's their job. That's part of their job. Okay. So this is what's going on. In the flat earth, we have people causing problems with wrenching and banning and just causing problems, disillusionment, confusion. And then we have globelings who don't know why they're getting the orders, stop this car or stop that car or take this guy's car, because he's announced on Facebook that he's starting across the US freaking drive. This is Jake, flat earth asshole. So there's people there, and you've said yourself, the guys that you've been making videos about are joining flat earth group, Jake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Midwest has been joining flat earth groups, saying that the Rogers Center, across
it's upside down.
Across it was a mirage, and he's saying it's upside down. It's like, how sad do you have to be that you got to go join the opposition's groups? And he says he does this all out of the goodness of his heart and doesn't get paid anything.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah.
You run Metabunk website out of the goodness of your heart. You run the Contrail Science webpage, which says the chemtrails are just clouds and water vapor. He runs that webpage out of the goodness of his heart. And on his free time, he likes to join flat earth groups and say that, proof of flat earth is a mirage.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
to me, it's weird that somebody who doesn't believe in all this nonsense is so fascinated that he has to spend that much time talking about it.
Yeah.
All for free out of the goodness of his heart, of course.
Yeah. Well, he gets to go on Joe Rogan and laugh a bit and say, look, the buildings are upside down. It's like, not the bit that's above the horizon. That bit's not upside down. Are you talking a bit about the bits underneath in the reflection of the are those? The rest that are visible, have they just been bent? Has the world been straightened out for the photo opportunity?
Even a superior mirage that has an inverted image above the original image. So you can't see the original and say it's a mirage if there's something above it. They're like, yeah, that's flipped upside down above the real thing. But Jenna's is the real building. There's nothing flipped upside down above it. It's the damn building. It's a little wavy because the P900 is zooming in 30 miles. There's going to be some waviness, but the difference between a real mirage, like, you know, you look down a hot street and it looks like there's a little bit of water maybe, and as you get closer it disappears. Whole lot different than a fucking 282-foot tall building that's solid white. You know what I mean? So
you know what I think is the best part of that video is where she zooms out and shows that her feet are just there in the water, right there.
Antonio,
she's not up, you know.
Antonio, Flat Earth Asshole's mind was blown. I go, dude, I graduated with Jenna Frito. She was a year before me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's like, damn, dude, that's a fucking small world.
That is
like
very cool.
Each other, like, met each other, so that's crazy.
Well, we never met, but we know of each other. She knows. We talked. We talked before.
Yeah. By the way, people, if anybody doesn't know for sure, we're talking about Jenna Fredo, whose video captured the Toronto skyline with the McMurray building. Is it the White Stadium?
Rogers Center.
Yes, the Rogers Center. The Rogers Center, which is a place where they do huge conferences and music gigs and all.
Baseball team plays there. So what makes it special is that she used Mick's website Metabump to beat his numbers, because everyone's using 8 inches per mile squared, but what they're not taking into account is that's like assuming your eyes are level with the water, which they are not. You have to, include your height as a human, how high you're standing, how high, what is the height of what you're looking at. The site is designed so when you put those numbers in, do complicated math beyond 8 inches per mile squared and put in refraction and all this other stuff and knock that number down to where when you see something, you can say, yeah, you're supposed to see that, according to my website.
Yeah.
So they're saying our math's wrong, and they say we're debunking flat earthers because they're saying 8 inches per mile when you square the mile, but that's if your eyes are level with the water. So these flat earthers are wrong, and a lot of people are wrongly giving out these numbers because they aren't putting in their observer height or including the fact that they're standing on a fucking hill looking at another hill. So Mick's website is designed to take our curvature number and slam it down.
Yeah.
Jenna brilliantly found the magic zone where she beat his numbers with refraction and everything included by over 100 feet. So that's why her proof as being one of the best is because she used the website that Globers are using to quote unquote debunk us. And she smashed
Yes.
Didn't he delete the message?
Yeah.
Is that the Earth Curve calculator? Is that his?
It's the GitHub one.
Is it the one where you can put in your height and the distance and everything? It's
target distance.
Okay.
Yes.
I use that one too.
Yeah.
We need somebody that has a P900 to get in the fucking ocean and just right at sea level, put the camera right at the bottom, right at the top of the water, and take a video or a picture, whatever, from right there at sea level, and then nobody can say anything about anything.
It's been done. Matrix Decode, not with a P900, but with a different camera. He's done that. He's been at the water where he's been 4 or 5 inches above the water. Obviously, you don't want to be, you don't want the water coming up.
I know. I'm just thinking, I got a P900. I'm supposed to go to the beach this summer, but I'm not trying to put it in the water.
But you can put something on, you could put it in a bag or something, a Ziploc bag or something. Put some Saran wrap on it. Make it waterproof.
But the thing is,
and it has a strap. You just put your fucking strap on. That shit ain't gonna fall off. It's around your neck.
No, but this is the thing.
Is that the party favors y'all are talking about?
some of us pointed out last year that their next move would be to change the curvature math. That somebody was a genius. Oh wait, it was me. And that's exactly what they've done. They've changed the curvature math. Okay, so they say, oh no, this is if you're talking about the surface of a sphere and somewhere else on the surface of the sphere, that's what this means. Obviously, in the real world, you're not on the surface of the sphere. You're some distance from it. So you have to calculate that in. It's like, yeah, okay, been doing that all along. You put your height, your observer height, the target distance, and the target height if you want. And then it tells you, should you see it, should you not? The distance to the horizon at 6 foot tall is 3.14 miles. That's from your feet being on one point and your height, and that's where the horizon is. Anything that's taller than you can only be very close to that horizon for you to see it, not 30 odd miles away. Your horizon is at 3.14. That's your horizon. Now, times, add a factor of 10, 30. Like, no, dude, that building shouldn't be there. And it is. It is there. It's because the freaking earth is flat. Hey, Brian, tell Jake and Karen and everybody else. I'm dying for you to tell them.
Hey, wait, I got to say something to Jake real quick. I hope you know that wasn't me spamming your chat the other night. Like, I was in there trying to say it wasn't me, but...
I don't even remember. I don't keep track of who did what. Like, that was the first time I ever ran a chat ever, and it got out of hand because I had no idea how to moderate it. I didn't know how to make people have a ridge. I'd never done it. I watched one YouTube video and thought, I'm going to just go live now and see what happens. So I'll get better at it. I'll figure it out. And I think once Jaron texts me, thanks, man. Once Jaron texts me to slow down the chat to like 30 seconds and slow it down to slow mode, it was way easier to deal with. But
yeah,
there was a time where, it was coming so fast, people were just like repeating the same thing. This chatting thing, it's like the wave of the future. I'm still trying to get used to it. I'm old school. Remember when they used to tape videos?
Yes.
Man, remember that? Wow.
That's funny because the other day I said something about taping something, but I was talking about recording it, and my daughter said, yep, that's how you know you're old, when you just said you're going to tape it.
Yeah, hey, I remember having videos get chewed up inside the mechanism, taking the video out, cutting the tape, putting it to the side, going in, taking every last bit of it. You end up with a freaking meters at feet, yards and yards of this tape that's now completely ruined. You take the two ends, you splice them together with sellotape, you wind it, you play it, and you can't even tell what parts you've cut out. You don't even see it. Yeah, there's nothing.
Cutting on the floor because all the clips on the floor and you're cutting, slicing pieces together. I do that still with video clips, not like physically cutting them, but when I take, video clips, I use iMovie and stuff. But these new chats are taking over to where it's like more and more people don't want to make a long ass, 20, 30 hour long, well-made video. They just want to do a chat like this now. I'm noticing the chats are blowing up.
Well, the thing is, with this, you do the chat, you have whatever it is, you can do presentations, you can even make a video and play it in your chat like this, and then you don't have to spend any time rendering it onto YouTube. YouTube renders it. People have watched it live, and then people can go back and watch. If they try immediately, they won't see the very start. It'll be a portion that's rendered, but it's much faster. It's time-wise, it's more economical. Brian, ready for you.
Yeah. All right. So I'm sharing my screen right now.
Yes.
So this is what's going up. Should be by Sunday. So we're going to compare the sun and moon and Polaris from the globe and the flat.
Pay attention, people. Please pay attention.
Now, right now, this is just pulling Colorado Springs and New York at a certain time, showing that the sun doesn't match up. But what's working right now, and I'll switch over to that, is this. Right now, my computer's pulling into my server for the sun and the moon, every 5-minute latitude, longitude for a year. And then I'm gonna put that on that page, and it's gonna show the sun and the moon according to the Navy. This is from the naval data for the U.S. Navy. So we can show that it's not working right.
Yes, the readings that you took, did you verify the readings that you and Zulu 1 took with this data?
Yes.
So your readings were correct?
Yes.
Yes. So what it's showing now is is the data that's arriving at his computer, which is the azimuth and the elevation to the moon and the sun from various different locations. And it's from the US Navy. This is not from, timeanddate.com or SunCalc, okay? But Brian, if you showed them again the globe, they'll see what happened. And this is why I decided, it was after speaking with Brian that I decided that the next sun tracking would be simultaneous readings rather than just solar noon. If you can zoom in, if people can notice, as you move the globe around, there are two marks. There are two lines there, a turquoisey line and a red line, one from New York and the other one from
Colorado, Denver.
There you go. If you move the globe around, they might be able to see better these lines. Yeah, this was a simultaneous reading, okay? And these people who took this reading, they're not half-wits. They didn't think, don't know which way north is. I don't know how to use the azimuth. They paid attention. They were meticulous so that they would arrive at the azimuth and the elevation correctly. So if you look at these lines on the globe to the left on your screen, they didn't match. They did not point at a distant place in space or converge at a nearby place.
They don't touch at all. They will never touch.
They point in two different directions.
Would they match each other if it's on a flat plane?
That's what I was just going to say. Did you plot that on an AE map?
That's what over here. It's in work in progress. It's kind of hard. I got to get this map to turn the right way and everything else. But no, this is what I'm finishing up. It'll be done by Sunday. And then not only will we have it projected, but I'm going to show time base, so it'll scroll the time and shows the sun at different locations.
Brilliant. I tell you who I think would be really good if he has time.
I bet it still won't line up on an AE map though.
Nope, it won't.
Nope, it won't.
Brian, I don't know if you can contact Rob Skiba, but I think Rob Skiba would be really good at modeling this or at expressing this.
So once I've got the model up here and all, like I said, I'll be done by Sunday. It's just got to pull at least a couple of days data here, which takes a while because, like I said, I'm doing every 5-minute latitude and longitude on the entire planet.
Wow.
And that's what's going through right now.
Oh,
so it'll take a while.
Just so people know, Brian is not a flat earther. He is a skeptic. He's a bona fide skeptic who has questions. That's what skepticism is. You don't accept what you're taught and you don't accept what you're told. You study yourself and you verify yourself. And even then, you question because you could be sleeping, could be in a dream. You're not totally sure. So that's a fundamentally skeptical mind, is one that doesn't accept without very good reason to accept. So
I am skeptic as well, I think.
Yes.
We are all skeptics.
Yes. But there are flat earthers out there who they've heard something and go, oh yeah, that's good. Oh, gyroscope doesn't do something. Yeah, that means the earth is flat. No, look at it. Look at it properly, understand.
Oh, look, here's a picture of the full moon right underneath the sun.
Yes. Yeah. Between those
that one drives me nuts.
Between the two palm
So what will be nice about this is the reason why I'm pulling the sun and the moon's data for a year is I'll be able to see the eclipses and everything else. We'll be able to actually see where they're supposedly lining up. And the only reason why I'm using this naval data is because I know in the military we've used this data to know where the sun comes up and where we're at. So it works in singular positions, but the problem is you can't triangulate flat or globe.
Yes, because it's not a localized phenomenon. It is not a ball up there in the sky or one glare in the sky. That's not what the sun is. It's much more like a rainbow. If you want some kind of way of processing it, a rainbow doesn't have locality in space. It is a direction. It is not in a place. Yes, Vincent.
This is exactly what we talk about. The reflection. You know what I mean.
However, the shadow on the surface of the Earth has got the location.
Yes, there's a direction. The rainbow is at a direction from you. The sun is at a direction from you. Direction doesn't just mean in one plane. It's direction. Okay, so the sun is a directional phenomenon, and it casts a shadow correspondingly. A rainbow doesn't cast a shadow, but it does have an effect on the sky. You might notice that the light underneath the rainbow, the sky underneath the rainbow, is usually lighter than the sky above the rainbow. So it does have an impact, but it's a directional phenomenon. It is not a local phenomenon.
But
I don't
Antonio,
know, guys. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, just real quick. Here's my idea, not theory, but idea, which I'm hoping to show with this by reversing the angles. Is what if the sun is one thing up there, but it's being, for lack of better words, refracted because, for lack of better words, okay, atmosphere, dome, whatever you want to call it, isn't a smooth object, kind of like a prism.
Yes,
and maybe we're seeing it at different angles because of that.
This is what Dr. Zach and Steve Torrance have been talking about for a year or longer, that the sun could be a thing up there, but we don't have direct access to it, which is why I say it's a directional phenomenon. There could be a sun up there that from this point of view, at this angle, you see here. From this point of view, the same sun simultaneously, you might see not here, but there, that displays a different location depending on your position, which means your relative direction to it, which is why I say it's a directional thing, that it might be there causing an effect, or that it's not there, that the effect is being caused by some remote thing, don't know, but that it can't be triangulated. Yeah, that kind of leans towards saying it's definitely not there. Either it's somewhere else and there are vectors that can calculate where it is, or
which is what we'll do.
Yes. Or it's a phenomenon that can be calculated this way. It might be a case that you have to calculate it by doing a reflection, a point of incidence study. But first we need to know, we need to verify for sure. And when we have this, people, the globelings who are right now struggling with the fact that gyroscopes don't display drift, the Foucault pendulum can't possibly work on the globe. The curvature seems to be missing. The water always being flat, the abyssal plains being flat, the ranges of land that are flat, that are geophysicists themselves say this is flat. Geophysicists say, well, this lake is flat too. This region is flat. Between Hawaii and these islands, this main island in Hawaii and those other islands in Hawaii, that's flat too. So in these places, there are gravitational anomalies that force the water that would otherwise be slightly curved to be flatter, and that's why it's the globelings that can't deal with this. When we collate the data, which by the way will be done on the 24-hour session, we will be saying this is the data, plot it. Anybody who's interested, I'm not going to go back later and spend 2 weeks going over it again and plotting it on a globe. I know, if you're interested, plot it. You don't need all the data. All you need is 3 or 4 to demonstrate that the sun is not a local event as we experience it. Now, when we have that, the globelings are going to have to say, dude, what the hell is the sun then? Because with their own model, refraction in their own model can triangulate. It can also, here's the sun out there in space, and from this point at the terminator, just before twilight, and this point just after, at this point, just, dawn and before dusk, from these 2 points, there's refraction on the atmosphere, but you can factor in that refraction is 12.3 degrees, or whatever they want to say, and from that point, you can triangulate the distance to the sun. Well, when it turns out, no, actually, the points are more like this, very skewed. You can't do this triangulation of the sun. So the globelings and the geophysicists and the astrophysicists are going to have to start studying the real world, because we will be able to demonstrate it. And once we have it, then we can demonstrate it to people on the streets. We can go to universities on the summer holidays. We can talk to the physicists. We can say to them, look, do this here, and call a colleague of yours or a friend of yours somewhere else and ask them to test right now. Check with your phone, check the orientation, check the elevation. Yes, Sergey.
That the sun dogs and halo effect could be a prompt of this, kind of 3 simultaneous positions of something lighting up
Sergey, I think it's more like a rainbow. A rainbow will have its arc directed towards you, and you can walk around and it's directed towards you, in which case the number of angles is infinite for that halfway point. Could be just over halfway point when you go around this side, you no longer see a rainbow. So is it 3 points? Is it more? I think we can capture a certain number of points with a camera, but how many there are, I genuinely think as many as you want. Right, guys, listen, I'm going to go make a coffee. Vincent, I go coffee now. Karen, tell us about your peanut and what you're going to do with it.
Yeah, well, go on, Karen. I just eating my crow.
Okay. Well, I took some video of the sun with my solar filter in the P900 if you guys want to look at it. I mean, because you guys are talking about the sun being, like I don't know what you guys are saying it is, but to me, when I look at the sun through the camera, through the solar filter, it looks like a physical object. It looks like a big light bulb. It's not a fireball because there's no flames or anything like that, but it looks like a light bulb to me. Or anyways, I'll show you guys.
Oh, yeah. Sweet.
Yes, Karen, and I'm thinking this way also.
It's not letting me share the way I want to share, but can you guys see my somebody's gonna have to present me.
Yeah, Chris, right on time. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I'm muted. Go ahead. Hey, Karen.
Yeah.
Flat Earth asshole. He's planning and plotting in his head of where he's going to go next. Vegas, Arizona. So maybe there's someone in the chat who's.
Well, I was going to ask him where he was going to go. I'm in North Carolina, though. I don't know if he's coming out this far. Are you coming out this far?
I want to make it coast. That's kind of the plan, is to go all the way across and back. But just get wacky, or I get tired of it, or I just it gets too expensive. I might turn around and go back at any point. So I'm sitting here thinking I'm either going to head to Las Vegas or Phoenix from here, and I'm literally going to get on my phone and make a few calls and figure out which one first. But I'm going to both those places for sure. It's just from San Diego, they're both about the exact same distance. So there's about, 10 or so flat earthers in Vegas. There's about 10 or so in Phoenix. So I know I'll have somewhere to
Isn't
stay.
Brother Sanchez in Vegas? Bro Sanchez is in Vegas.
Is he really? I did not know that. And see, I think I'll make a video announcing that I'm there.
Pretty sure he said he's in Vegas.
I would like to get, a whole group of them together, but there's also a big group of them in Phoenix and a couple of channels, YouTube channels.
Got a place in
out of Phoenix, so
Dallas, Texas.
Texas, I think, is on the map as well. I'm getting a lot of messages from there. So, but I don't like to make anything too far in the future because who knows what could happen. But two cities will be Vegas and Phoenix. I just can't quite decide which one I want to head for first. A part of me is itching for Vegas, so I can maybe grab a room and throw some craps. But then there's some cool people in Arizona who want to meet me. So I don't know. I'm kind of up in the air right now. But it'll either be one of those two, and I'll post it on my channel where I'm at, and so anyone in the area can come meet me.
Jake, stop by in Murmansk.
Yeah, and I'm in Amsterdam. I'm in Rotterdam, in the Netherlands. Just come over.
I'd love to.
So where are you going? What's the final destination? Is it a round trip back?
Yeah, back home is the final destination. But how far I'll make it, like I said, I want to make it across the United States. I've never been up into the northern part of the United States, so I want to get up there, at least make it halfway, if not all the way. But I would want to make it all the way. But I just can't say exactly which states I'm going to hit and where I'll be, because it's kind of one day at a time. Who's going to show up? Who's going to let me stay at their house? How cool are they going to be? You know what I mean? How much is it going to cost in gas? How much, can I make money along the way with videos and chats and selling, shirts and whatever? We'll see. That's kind of what I wanted to do, is give it a go and see what happened without making a set in stone plan, and just meet a bunch of cool people. And so far, so good, man. This guy's been one hell of a host right here.
Yeah.
Hopefully I get taken as well as this guy took care of the rest of the way.
Dan Falcon Bass, a cool dude. Jake, are you going to hit any clubs, any open mics?
Now I was talking to Powerland. He's in Vegas, and there's a bunch of open mics going on almost every night of the week in Vegas. So I would really like to. Being as I plan on hitting some major cities, if I roll through and the timing is right, I'll get up on stage, on a whim anytime I'm given a mic. You give me a microphone in a crowd, I'll get up there and start talking the truth. Oh yeah.
Okay, so anybody who listens to this who is going to contact Jake because he's heading your way, you're either going to help him find somewhere to stay or give him somewhere to stay. But better still, just as good would be for you to find out where there might be an open mic. So when you meet up with him and say, dude, you're taller than I thought you were, or whatever, you can say, this place has got an open mic, so why not do that? I tell you what, if you were coming over here, I'd find open mics for you. So yeah.
Antonio, sorry about this. Do you got somebody highlighted?
Yes, Jake and Dan. I had them highlighted.
Okay. That's why we could not screen share. It's all right, no problem.
Okay, so are we screen sharing Karen now? Karen.
Yes.
We're showing your son.
Okay.
So talk us through it.
Sorry, guys, I'm going to have to get out of here, but thanks for having us on.
All right. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks.
All right. It was good talking to you. Later, Jake.
Whenever you're coming over to the Netherlands, room everywhere.
Yes.
Absolutely. That'll be maybe next, once my channel gets bigger, I'll do the Flat Earth European tour.
Somebody get a hold of
welcome.
Somebody get a hold of Brother Sanchez. Tell him Flat Earth Asshole needs a place to stay. But
right. Hey, Dad, that goes for you too. That goes for you too, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Have a good one.
All right, everyone.
Of course. Flat Earthers robbing the plane later. Okay, Karen, video.
Okay.
Tell us.
All right. Okay, this is me taking video and pictures of the sun with my solar filter this morning. So this is what when you look at the sun, you see the disk of the sun. It's brighter in the middle and it gets a little bit darker on the outside, kind of like a ball lit from the inside. So I mean, it's pretty interesting to look at if you've never looked at it.
It looks like a great big giant Jaffa orange.
Here's another video. I try to zoom in on it as close as I can get.
Wow, it's awesome.
And it's perfectly smooth. I mean, it looks perfectly smooth. There you can kind of see a sunspot down there. Usually the sunspots are on when I take a picture of the sun, the spots are like on the top front left quadrant, and here they're kind of lower and on the side, kind of a skewed view of it. So I mean, to me, it makes it look like the sun is actually a ball.
Okay, somebody's asking what kind of filter.
Just it's called a solar filter. That's all it is. Just look up solar filter, and it's black. They're black, like no light gets through. When you put the solar filter on, the only thing you can see is the disk of the sun.
Have you watched Phuket Word's description of the bowl moon, the concave bowl moon?
No, I have not.
In Thailand, they refer to the faces of the moon as portions of a bowl that are lit. So you have the bowl lit from one angle and you've got a crescent and so on, but it's a bowl. It's the inside of a bowl. So it's the perspective, the illusions. You can look at something that looks three-dimensional, like it's heading towards you, or there's volume that has proximity to you, but when you shift your perspective, you see that the point that seemed to be closest to you is actually the furthest most point. It's just very cleverly designed. So with a bowl, like you said, this looks like it's got a rotundity to it. It could be, rotundity, but being perceived differently to how it is. So instead of the sunspots tracing a journey on the surface that's coming towards you of a ball, it could be tracing the journey on a surface that's going away from you.
Mm-hmm.
I urge everybody to watch Nick's video, Phuket Word. In fact, all of his videos. Just go and enjoy.
Guys,
he does great videos.
Yeah, say again, Sergey.
Guys, just trying to ask you guys, what is your opinion? I'm gonna make a video of the sun, 24-hour sun, and do I need to use any solar filter?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. Well, what I want to do is, if I make it to the coast this summer, I want to take my camera, my solar filter, and I want to do sunrise from before the sun comes into view all the way past sunrise in a time lapse with the solar filter.
Sergey,
no sun flare.
Because what Sergey's going to do is he's going to have his camera rotating and showing the 24-hour sun. I think if you've got your camera set so that the sun is only a very small portion of the screen, so you've got background, I think it it might be fine to not have a filter.
For a 24-hour sun, no, you don't need a filter. I wouldn't think you would.
Okay.
So, yeah. Oh, man, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be good to see. I tell you what are crazy. The images from the Arctic Circle of the sun and of the moon really zoomed in. Those are crazy. It's like, wow, there's a lot of electromagnetism going on there. A lot of magnetic waves causing light distortion. Heavy distortion.
You know what I'm thinking is that when I'll be able, hopefully I'll be able to do this 24 hours recording. But in case I'm successfully doing that, what I'm thinking is, for example, we have a readings, online. We have a readings, and I'm doing this 24 hours recording, and I will certainly do the test record before the soundtrack, right? And what I'm thinking is, while recording the 24-hour sun and getting the read, I will be able to make marks on my landscape surrounding me, around me. So mountain is there at the moment when we have readings in Spain, in South Africa, anywhere. That mountain and the other mountain in a different occasion, and then I will have an exact position, like GPS coordinates, and you can also see my exact position where I am on the map, on a so-called satellite picture. You can find exact place. You can find the mountains around me. You can make a line from that point to your location at that moment, because of having a sun record, right? So you can make a line through my sun record to your location at that moment and compare. Is it really on the same line, or it's deviated somehow? So it's interesting to see.
Very, very. I had not thought of that, Sergey. That is so cool. That is so very cool. Because, hey, guys, we can check the globe and we can check the AE and we can come to some conclusions about the sun. If your direction for the sun is 160 degrees and the line of longitude, or from the AE map or the globe, says 160 degrees from you this way is Thailand, let's imagine, then Thailand should have solar noon. And if it's not Thailand solar noon, or at an angle relative to Thailand, there's the same line from you, then how's the sun behaving? That's really good.
Not even necessarily at solar noon, at any time of the day.
That's what I mean. From you, you have the sun, and for you it's 160 degrees from north, 160 degrees. And let's imagine that this happens to be Thailand. I think it would be more like Saudi Arabia. Let's imagine. Let's say Kuwait. Okay, I am face is in Kuwait. It's like, okay, straight line from you to Kuwait, and there's the sun. If you're 160 degrees from north, then he should have a very close thing to 160 degrees from north. Not exactly the same, because your angles have shifted to north, okay? But his line should continue yours. If it doesn't, so from his point of view to the sun, if the line does a kink, if it does a corner, then we're going to assume at least that that's not a real corner. That's only a corner that's projected from us thinking in straight lines. We can conclude that it does a circle, and there are other points in between the way would have the sun that represents that circle. Wow, dude, this is heavy.
If I look at the sun, and if the sun is the same served by somebody else, let's assume that if the sun is the same,
it will be.
I look at the sun and see under my sun, I can see the mountain, or let's say some tower or anything noticeable, right, on a map. Everyone can look at that and put the straight line to through my sun to their location and compare. It could be easily estimated then what is going on. Something's going wrong, or everything is good.
You see, this is one of the things with the mathematical model that was constructed. Time is included. In fact, art minutes, a minute, So the actual location of a place is based on the position of the sun, time. So they've verified the mathematical model with time, when time might be completely dependent on orientation and when the sun rises, rather than distance between the 2 points. So let's say you imagine that in Kuwait, the sun would rise at this angle at this time, and that at that same time exactly, it's this other angle and time in Murmansk. It hasn't yet risen in Murmansk. But let's just say now we find that it has. So what the globe would do is shift Murmansk to a different longitude. And so there you go. Now it's risen. Because it can't say that the light does a curve. And what we will find is that the light draws a curve from any point of view, and which is what it does. We know. You're sitting there. There's my east and there's my west. And there's the sun. And it's doing a great big arc. It's doing a great big curve. It isn't really. It's an orientational thing. If you were at the same altitude as the sun would come in a very straight line and go past you. You wouldn't really, after a while you'd notice it turning, but it would seem like it was coming directly towards you. But from the ground, it does this arc. Like we were describing earlier with the sun. Well, Sergey, what you pointed out, here's the sun, here's the horizon, but the moon is being lit from this angle. Let me move this way. There's the sun, here's the horizon, but the moon's being lit from this direction. How can this be going on? On the globe, it can't be going on because we have three bodies, Earth, Moon, and Sun, and the three make a triangle. Then the illumination on the Earth has to be the same as the illumination on the Moon, continuously, all of the time. As you turn, you go into darkness or daytime. But the illumination has to be almost exactly the same because the widest distance between the Earth and the Moon versus the distance between those two and the sun is so small that it might as well be absolutely identical rays, lines of direction. This is not possible on the globe, but in the flat Earth, this is at the same height as the moon, give or take. There are times when the moon is slightly lower and the angle is more like this. That's when the moon is slightly lower than the sun. And then there are times when the moon is slightly higher than the sun, when the angles are, well, obviously that. Okay. But in general, the sun and the moon are very similar heights from the sun, from the Earth, sorry. The thing that seems to have a matching point from the observer point of view, the highest point. It can actually be at lots of places in that arc simultaneously. But the highest point of the sun here, the highest point of the moon, very close. So when the sun is illuminating the moon, like it was before, which was at an angle like this, the sun is just slightly higher than the moon, but it looks to be lower down because of perspective. Perspective makes things look smaller and closer to the horizon. So that explains this, which the globe doesn't explain. So just another of those things that the globe just can't quite explain. So they remove you and they remove you from the globe. They talk to you through mathematical angles, having completely removed the horizon. And when they bring in the horizon with Celestia and other stellar programs like that, they just steer to the horizon, to the real world.
What I'm also thinking is how to make on my screen the indication of the time, the current time. So on my screen, somewhere in the corner, there is indication of time.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking also is, of course, to be able to store it, to record it in some memory. So what memory should I get for this 24 hours? And
stopwatch.
Yes, but wait, you're going to do a 24-hour video, okay? But this does not mean that you need to do 24 hours of 24 or 25 frames a second. Do you understand what I mean? It does not have to be. You know how one of the gyroscope videos is 6 hours, real 6 hours of a gyroscope not drifting, and that's real footage. And I think that's at 25 frames a second. You don't have to do that. You can, because it's a 24-hour period, you can tell your camera, if it's a kind of camera where you can do a time lapse, you can tell the camera to take a picture once every 3 or 4 seconds, or every 5 minutes, or every 10 minutes, whatever you tell it. And it will do chick and move, chick and move, chick and move. This is what it will do. So it will not take so much space. The reason for that I'm saying this, if you do this, obviously there will be a lot less information, so it will take less space. Why is the camera fixed on me?
Who did that? It's your fault.
How you doing, Poncho?
I'm okay.
So you went out today with Vincent?
Yeah.
Globe busting.
It was some of my best friends, fishermen. I've seen it with my own eyes, drunk as farts or whatever. You get to that moment in the debate argument where they say things like, you'd let people like ISIS just come in here. Oh my gosh, once I start with that, I'm just... it's just too much information overload for most people at that point.
Yeah. And if they're drunk, what are they going to do? You know? Can you imagine if you explained it to somebody who was drunk and they really, really got it, and then in the morning they forgot it because they were drunk?
Well, they were really, really drunk. Well, they were getting there, and they just, you know, it doesn't matter what age. I had a 75-year-old, 76-year-old Danish fisherman screaming "F off" to me face, right? And I wasn't being rude or anything at that point. And in the end, when Vincent started talking to him, he admitted that Denmark was flat. Oh yeah, Denmark is flat. And then Vincent, yeah, and so was Oliver, yeah, Holland is flat, yeah. And I went, Germany is flat as well. I went, yeah, Germany is flat too, yeah. I went, so why are you saying that the world is flat? No, it's not flat. Me and Vincent just looked at each other as if to say, what are you going on about? You just admitted that we made your country a flat. And then he denied it. It was so funny, wasn't it, Vinny?
Yeah, it was really funny. Well, yeah.
Hey,
they don't want to listen, do they?
No.
What I told you when we went away, deep indoctrination. You can see it. It's
oh yeah,
man.
Yes. This is why I've been talking about Humpty Dumpty. This is why
we didn't get to Humpty Dumpty or the Sasquatch. I wish we could have got to Sasquatch, Karen.
Yeah, so listen to this, okay? The Sasquatch, Bigfoot, it's exactly, they don't use Loch Ness anymore, okay? Because that's kind of questioning dinosaurs. Because it's like, wait a second, that must be some kind of dinosaur. And people say, psst. So Loch Ness kind of gone away, the whole Loch Ness monster. But Bigfoot is another big source of ridicule. In fact, Joe Rogan and the guy that Flat Earth Asshole has been battling with, one of the things that they say, have you seen it, Karen, the video? The guy who does Metabunk, that website.
Yeah.
One of the things is that he chips in is Bigfoot. You know, there's absurdities. Bigfoot. That I would. That
should show you. You know,
yes,
that they like to put Bigfoot and flat Earth, like those two things. It's like if you believe in either one of those things, you're a whack job. You're a pariah. You know, both of them.
And do you know what? It's as simple as this. The panda was the same thing. If any of you guys haven't heard of Lloyd Pi, written like the mathematical symbol pi, Lloyd Pi, I think it's written, no, P-Y-E. Lloyd Pi, everything you know is wrong. He describes, by the way, he passed away only 2014, I think it was, and he was looking at maps of the Earth when he contracted cancer. That guy would have just upturned the whole apple cart because he was a sincere, genuine, honest person. Now, what he explains about Bigfoot, about the origin of man, about all kinds of stuff that he had. He was very good at explaining. But one of the things that he explained was how the panda bear that we all know, Kung Fu Panda, the panda, black and white thing, very dim, not very bright, not very kind of strategic, only eats bamboo, is a day creature, not a night creature. Freaking lazy thing. They live where they eat. That's where they live. They spend their life doing this. That's what they do. They don't run around. They don't forage. They only eat bamboo, and they live and are born in bamboo fields. So of course they're not very bright. So they don't have anything to do, and it's very difficult to make your way through bamboo fields. So the panda used to be a myth until the first panda was caught. So all these guys who laugh about Bigfoot, and I'm glad that not any have been caught because the poor thing would suffer, no doubt. If one was caught humanely, they would all of them go, oh yeah, I knew that Bigfoot was real. That's what those guys would do. They would just pretend like they never poo-pooed the idea. And that's what happens. That's what will happen also with the flat earth. People say, yeah, I always knew there was something wrong. And Bigfoot, that if we think of how, like Karen said, how they treat the concept, the idea, the possibility that there might be a creature out there that we've not been able to capture, that's still out there, that we, with all our maverick forces and technology and know-how, we've not been able to capture one. That can't be true, you know? So it's not true. Like, yeah, it is. There's all kinds of stuff you haven't captured. There's all kinds of places people haven't even been to. There There are places in the Arctic Circle that have not been explored, where the mainstream will acknowledge there's a whole bunch of areas in the Arctic Circle that have not been explored. Now, we could think, well, secretly they've explored it and they're keeping it hidden, or they haven't explored it and they're not lying because we don't know what's there because we haven't been. Which one is it? It's up to you what you want to believe. But the Bigfoot thing, yeah, you have somebody here who's experienced Bigfootness, including a stomping on the ground and a Bigfoot freaking footprint there on the ground, and trees. Karen, do you want to show your photos, or are they hidden away? One of the twisted tree more than any.
Okay, let me
picture a sapling, people, maybe about this wide. I don't know really how wide, not very wide. Picture something that can go up to a sapling and bend it and twist it. Imagine the torque in those forearms. Twist it and leave it there at right angles kind of shape, and it not dead. The thing's still alive. The tree. That's some torque. So they've got artistic aspirations.
Are you now trying to tell me that Sasquatch not only play knock door run on people's windows, they don't just shake trees, they actually twist them into poodle shapes and stuff as well too?
That's it. Where do you think we have an inherited? We have an inherited memory. Poncho, you have an inherited memory of taking things and twisting them and making them into shape.
That's right.
Where did that come from?
Bigfoot. It all comes back to Bigfoot now.
I don't know. But wait,
Bigfoot could be God, Karen.
Wait till you see this picture.
Messing with us, playing knock door and run on your windows and stuff. He must really like you.
I gotta figure out where.
Guys, I have to go to. Sorry.
You have to go where?
Guys, okay. I have to go. Yeah, I got to go to bed. Sorry. Nice to talk to you. Speak to you later.
You too. You too, Sergey.
Sergey. One moment. Before you go to sleep, what time is it where you now?
It is 1:17.
1:17. Okay. Can you turn on your camera and show us how it looks outside?
Okay.
Thank you.
Good idea, Vincent. 1:17 a.m.
in Murmansk. Whiskey.
Look at that.
That's 1:17 in the AM.
Yes.
It is cloudy now. That's why it's kind of,
Yeah, but that's mental, sir.
Those Poncho, you remember when there were people saying that the Earth was a diamond map or a biblical map? They couldn't handle this. The fact that this actually happens in the real world, and there are now the two Ronnies. It's Ronnie and Jason. That keep having little snides at Jaren. Saying that this doesn't happen, that it's all just make believe. Like, well, dude, I think that this guy's got a fridge there, food in the fridge, stairs, shoes, that it's a real person. Yeah. And he has a window.
You can see the clock on the building showing the current time.
Yes.
The yellow.
We can't see it.
Yeah.
No, we cannot see what it says.
Yeah, it's too far away, but
it's far away.
We know that you're in Murmansk and this is the time.
Yeah.
No, I'm now in Monchegorsk, which is south of Murmansk. In Murmansk, it's even lighter than here.
How far away south of Murmansk?
Yeah, it's 130 kilometers.
So it's nothing. 80 miles, 100, 90 miles, something like that.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much, Sergey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speak to you later, guys.
Talk to you later.
Okay.
Sleep well.
Thank you very much. Take good sleep. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Brian, you find yourself in a hangout talking about Bigfoot.
I'm so super.
It's not my fault this time. I didn't bring it up.
No, you didn't.
Are you reading that? Are you reading that, Antonio, in chat?
No.
Jed's live streaming you. You need to copyright him, it says.
Who is?
Jed is.
Okay.
The news.
Oh, my God. Really?
So he's live streaming. Okay. Well, hey.
Well, he's spreading the word for us. Thank you, Jed. Good.
He's really not the brightest penny, is he?
No.
Plain truth. What is that you're sharing in the chat? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going there. I don't know if I can be bothered, to be honest.
I just wanted to say that, Antonio. Come on.
It's okay. I've come to your channel. Antonio, question me all you like about the squash meatballs. Hi, Jed, you big girl's blouse.
Yeah, remember when Dell offered to go for a drink with him, to meet up with him with a camera and they could talk it out. And Jed Skeptic was like, oh, I don't want to fight you. Like, don't say anything about fighting.
That was me. That was I said, if I'm ever in Edinburgh, will you go for a pint with me?
Oh, yes, no, but he also did it to Del.
Oh, did he?
Yes, Del said we could meet up and have a talk.
Yeah.
And Jed Skeptic was like, oh, all these threats of violence. Like,
I said to him, if I'm ever in Edinburgh, would you go for a pint with me? And I genuinely meant it as just that. And he said, I'm not scared of Chris.
He misheard you. He said, will you go for a pint with me?
Wow.
No, because it was written, Pete. Because I did it written in a chat. So there's no way he could have misinterpreted that. Like,
was it in Scottish written? Or?
Well, kind of.
Sorry about that.
Some time ago, the comment is probably still out there in one of my videos. He was being a bit threatening when we were going to go to Oxford. This was, and he said, "You might see a 6'2" Scottish guy running at you." I said, "Hey, come, Oh, you weren't quiet, and he didn't come to Oxford."
Hey, I got to run for a bit, guys. I'll be back later.
All righty.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
Freemasons can't run very fast anyway.
No.
They've always got a trouser leg rolled up.
Oh, look, you have Tim Osman on Jed Skeptic saying, make sure to report IPS and ODD channel for coordinating attack against TOS. Don't know what TOS stands for.
Oh, so
terms of service.
I understand.
Terms of service.
So sniping hangouts, that's nothing. That's no attack. That's cool.
Oh yeah, that's not an attack, Tim.
No, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah. Because I'm Tim Osman and I can do sniping. Now the only thing that you do is copy and paste a link to join and then delete people. Oh, poor boy. Bye bye.
So this is what I'm thinking. If I do a copyright strike now on Jed, it will take me 5 minutes or so. What should I do? How should I do the copyright strike? Let me see. I'm scrolling back. You are showing
couple of options. He's using your content.
Okay, but I can't be bothered.
Exactly. They're spreading our truth.
They never leave them up anyway when they've missed. They very rarely leave them up, do they? Because they get a copyright strike, don't they?
Yeah. Forget it.
Just let them go. This is what they want. Talking about them. Let's go on.
Yes, Martin Nidkus in the chat. I'm going to pass you a link, Martin, if you want to jump in.
Yeah.
Martin was making some really good points about the near past history, buildings and technologies that just seem to no longer be used or be even understood. So with Brunel and the Crystal Palace and earlier than that. So I'm going to pass. So Martin, go to Martin Matson on Skype. I'll pass you a link to this if you want to jump in. Yeah. Hey, it was good to be joined by Dan Falkenbach and Jake, Flat Earth Arsehole. Thought that was cool.
That was cool. You never see Jake in Hangouts ever. He's never in them.
Yeah, because he doesn't know how to do them. But also because...
Well, he doesn't join them either, though. I never see him joining them either. So, I mean, I don't know, unless I miss it or I don't know where he goes, but...
He started doing a couple of his own very recently. Oh, we've lost Antonio.
That's what came through.
Did Antonio drop? Oh, there he is. Antonio, did you came back with the link or with a refresh? Antonio, we cannot hear you. If you came, please go to live stream events and then resume Hangout. There you are. Oh, yes. Okay. How did you came back with a refresh?
I was not sniped.
No, I know, but
yeah. Sometimes when I go out, when I'm running the Hangout and I go out and I look at other things, sometimes if I stay there for a while, the system drops me. So I was not.
Yeah, I know.
Guys, don't worry.
But how did you came back?
Did you join through the link or through the?
No. This is what I did. I left where I was, which was looking at the chat. So closed that down. Waited here. Saw your avatars. Everything was quiet. Saw the Sub Johnny had said that I'd been sniped. Just waited here. Next thing I know, you're saying, "Oh, he's back." So that's.
Okay. So you didn't click on the link or anything.
No. Last thing I did was pass the link to Martin Nidka. He might join us. course, through Skype as Martin Matson. And I was also shouting that somebody had suggested donating to Hillbilly. And I was giving a huge hello and thank you to Sub Johnny Yevgeny, who is my first Patreon. I should have added my Patreon to this. I want one of those gyroscopes. I'm going to have it on top of water, on a bowl of water, on a plate, on top of water, and have it spinning and show it not display drift. And then I will do the same thing, but I will hang it from a thread. So I'm going to do those experiments. If people want to donate, brilliant. If not, I'm going to do it anyway. It will just take me long. So yeah, there you go. Karen, did you find the images? You're muted, by the way.
I did find some of them, yeah. I haven't found all of them yet, though.
Okay, so Vincent, are you here? Or are you checking chat and stuff?
No, he's here at my house. How can he be there?
No, I mean, he's muted. I don't know if he's stepped away to go coffee.
Yeah, he said he was going coffee now.
All right, okay. Chris,
coming back in now. I don't in bed.
Would you make sure that Karen doesn't display the link?
Yeah. So.
Is that okay?
Sorry, I'm back. Hello.
Hello.
As long as you don't have any of the people highlighted, it should be okay.
It's all right, you got me highlighted. Well, one of the trailer park boys.
There's somebody called the Horry Street Show who's offering to talk about the sun experiment once he can get his head around it. Wait until we do the next sun tracking on the 24th of June, which will be 2 or 3 days after the solstice. The solstice is not what we've been taught it to be, and neither are the equinoxes. The equinox is supposed to happen everywhere at the same time on Earth, and it does not. They have it a week or two earlier in Brazil. So they do the whole thing about the equinox and how the sun illuminates half the Earth at a point on the flat Earth. Not true. It does not happen like that. So we will be doing another sun tracking session, 24 hours straight, simultaneous sun tracking. So anybody who joins will be able to share their sun, their azimuth, will show their display. It will not be rushed. There's no emergency. Obviously, it will also encompass the solar noons for various different people and the relative positions of the sun for people at the same time. So somebody might be having solar noon or not solar noon, and 2 or 3 or 5 other people will give us their orientation to the sun. And this will show that we have something up there that the physicists can't explain, which is why they've been going with a model that's simplified. The globe Earth model, as complicated as it is made to appear by astronomers, is a simplistic view. It is simplified. The real world, what's going on, is too complicated for people 500 years to figure out because they didn't even know about radiation or magnetism. So there you go.
Have we got a definite fixed date now for the
24th of June, Saturday, 24th of June. Well, it will be we will start midday, 24th of June, UK midday. So UTC +1 midday. We will go all the way through until Sunday, UTC +1 midday. So for some places it will be Friday. Other places it will be Saturday when we start. Australia, New Zealand, those places, it will be later on. So you go to UTC, find when. Just keep an eye out on. We'll be all over the place. We're going to push the channel everywhere. The channel will not be this one. It will be Flat Earth.
Sun tracking. Is it going to be the sun tracking channel?
Yes, the sun tracking channel. And by the way, just so that you all know, although the last sun tracking were done on my channel, and lots of people give me credit for it, I don't do that much. Okay, the guys that do a hell of a lot more, Vinny and Chris, they do a lot more on the sun tracking than me. I'm just like the maitre d'. They're the chefs.
Well, I would like to say that without any participants, we wouldn't have anything to present. So really, credit should go to the participants from my point of view. Just saying, thank you.
Same here, Chris. Same here, Chris. Same here.
Yeah. Is the camera locked on me?
No.
Okay, because, dude, we're trying to appeal to people. We don't want to put them off. Okay. The Horry Street Show. You're welcome. The camera seems to be locked on me, guys.
Is it? Oh.
Did
Did you highlight yourself?
Click Ricky picked the combat.
No, it might be since I came back. Karen, will you say hello? Hey, Martin Lidker's just joined us.
Hello.
Hey, hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Chris?
The way to fix that camera locking thing is to drop out and rejoin, and then it'll switch over to somebody else.
Okay, so
F5.
F5 on a Mac.
F5.
Oh, on a Mac. I don't know.
So I'll just close the window and hit the link that I passed to Martin.
No, you can better go to events and then resume Hangout. Otherwise, you will stop the stream.
Okay, I wasn't going to hit the red button.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was, Vinny.
Give me a second.
I don't know if I ever told you this, Vinny, but the women in North Carolina, they'd be like smoking hot, Vinny. I'm not talking about Jeff Stewart. Karen, what are you going to do if you find out Bigfoot is actually Jeff Stewart on stilts?
I'm gonna cry.
And he's been running up there every night, knocking on your window. It was Jeff Stewart.
I don't even know who that is.
He loves hearing that.
He's Antonio's #1 fan.
He loves hearing that. He was in a hangout. Okay, so this happened, Karen. He accused David Weiss, that's Ditra, okay, or Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. He accused David Weiss of stealing an idea. And then, sometime after accusing him of stealing his idea, which was basically to film an LED light through water, okay?
Mm-hmm.
David Weiss had thought of this or seen this video somewhere else, got that video and put it up. He hadn't heard about Jeff Stewart having done it, and he didn't know who Jeff Stewart was, okay? So he's in a hangout and Jeff Stewart is there, and David points out that he's not sure who the other person is. I don't know whether he was away from the screen or it might have just said Jeff or Room or whatever. Room Painter is his channel. Don't know, but he said, and your other guest here might be blah, 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 blah. And he's like, don't pretend like you don't know me. And David's like, David's like,
no, I was over there 2 nights ago.
Yeah, David's like, sorry, but you stole my idea. And he does all of this stuff, and David genuinely didn't know who he was. He didn't know that he'd made a video calling him out for having stolen his. Just didn't know. And you just said those magic words. You don't even know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
Oh,
I have no idea.
Sacrilege, Karen B.
Sorry.
I don't know who he is. Oh, Jack, you've been around a long while.
Yes, he has. In fact, that's the first ever hangout I went on, was Jeff Stewart.
You know, FETV, when we set that up, and I was in when the start of it all. And that was the first 24-hour flat Earth station in the history of the world.
Yes, and kudos to Jeff Stewart. There's no love lost between us. It was his idea first, and Yvette stole it from him with free Chan and free Chan.
Everything went off from that. I'm glad, because he was a catalyst in it all, but it was hard fucking work.
I think Ace had something to do with thinking of it as well, actually.
Ace,
I remember.
Oh, really?
Gio,
I think
you were there, Chris. You were there, Gio.
I was for a little while until
Nathan came along for a bit.
He didn't want me anymore.
But it went to shit. He kept sleeping in and keeping the links and shit, and it wasn't coming through, and people were waiting. It was really going to be good. It was, but there weren't enough people to run it at the time. There weren't enough flat earthers on the plane at the time. There wasn't. It was only like Out to Bay, Max Sargent, and people like that out there at the time.
Yeah, there weren't. There really weren't that many.
No, there weren't. Not like now. Not all these thousands and thousands, and you can crank it up, and there's live events all day long.
Yeah.
But this rage thing, I made a post, like, sort of not opposing it as such, but saying it should be kept in check. Cause if we get taken off the internet, I'm going to go fucking ballistic, and I will. So I thought, well, I'll be clever. The best thing to do is lead it from the front, and then I can keep everyone in political fucking correctness in check and make sure they're all psycho, bad-mouthing the poor people in their chat, and from downing them or threatening them, because threatening them is not going to be good for us, guys. But the word's out. This has been going on only a couple of days, and we went around to things tonight, and I wanted to feel it. It's recon, right? This is a strategic move on my part, right? To see the response. First response, Ace had last night. This guy said, "You fucked my show up. If I have that again, I'm packing my shit in." So he was on about packing his channel in. He was that pissed off. And I went along tonight, so sort of with Odd and Joey to sort of get everyone 500 running in as it goes, but polite, explaining things. We had a few good responses, but the thing is, they knew straight away, these are these raids we're hearing about. So it's already in ether across YouTube, everyone. And he's calling them not raids, they're flat earth parties. And we're trying, from our perspective, we're trying to do them a fucking favour, aren't we? We're trying to help the guys, you know?
Well, do you know what I think would work? You know what I think would completely scupper? Let's imagine that the idea was to start these raids and have Flat Earth banned as a...
But why were you? Shit's kicking up. I'll just explain. Tim Osmond is about to copyright everyone's fucking asses, so he's saying, right now, in Jed's, and IPS is going to copyright Jed for showing his shit on his screen, and they're all doing that right now as we speak. Well, so it's all kicking right off.
Yes.
And Tim's having a right little go at me, little bitch.
Who has?
Tim,
I think somebody needs to carefully read the terms of service on YouTube to check that particular section to see if it is actually violating anything. And we need to...
I don't think it is, Chris. I don't think it is.
All the time, Chris.
It's open chat for the public. It's not fucking... there's no clauses to stay... certain sections of the public should stay out of this chat. It's open to the internet, isn't it?
There's a way that we can avoid all of this head scratching if we engage with any so-called raids or any Flat Earth party crashers. If whenever we go in, we thumb up whatever video. It doesn't matter. It could be NASA. It could be the most insignificant.
Just thumb it up.
Just go in, thumb it up, and say you were thumbed up by Flat Earthers.
Listen to this then. 500 of us were just in fucking SpaceX launch in NASA in a chat, and they called the launch off in front of our eyes. They're saying there's a force 1 fucking gale, and it's a storm. Called off to the 2nd of June, cause of bad weather, and Antonio, it was a blue fucking sky.
Wow.
It was all of us, and they didn't want to fuck up. They had to get it spot on, and there's 500 of us in their chat, you know. Wow. Went boom, the numbers. I know, more than 500, easy, because it was Odds and IPS's channels, both of them. There must be 600-700 people in an instant. Bam, you know. And they knew. And 2 minutes later, it come up on the top, called off. We were like, is that because of us? Well, could well be.
It very well could. But even if we go into SpaceX, just think this, guys. If people who can't think of an idea of something to write, if what they just simply wrote, if they thumbed it up and said you were thumbed up by a flat earther, the idea for this came from Tim Osman, who Chris here will explain in a video game platform somewhere. He calls himself a top brass flat earther. So when he kills someone, the person was killed by a top brass flat earther. Okay, to try and give bad vibes out there regarding flat. So I'm thinking, dude, if 500 people went into a lipstick freaking tutorial thing, saying you were thumbed up, and suddenly you've got 500 more thumbs up than before or than usual, you were thumbed up by flat earthers. They'll be like, what? That's a good way.
It is.
You were thumbed up by flat earthers.
And he got it. He really did. He had about a couple of thousand in his chat. He was a young English chap, 20 years of age, and he said, look, this might be true. And he was running a game, platform, and he said to his gamers, look, can you just wait for this? Because this is really important. There's I don't believe these hundreds of people could just turn up in my chat and there not be anything in this. They can't all be stupid. He was quite, savvy, and he looked at it there and then, and we should try to guide him to Odd Conspiracy's channel, right, or vlog, and we did. And then he came on live on Odd's channel saying, look, really cool that was. Blown my mind that. I didn't know how to take it. I've never had so many in my chat. 1 minute there was like 40, the next minute there was like 500. And talked on Odds. It was really cool, and we put him in the right direction, and he's looking into it. So that was a definite ka-ching.
Brilliant.
Definitely.
Brilliant. So yes, if people out there are thinking this is IPS trying to
scupper the fucking flat earth movement,
because lots of people have questions. He's very popular, very articulate.
Well, it's because he's only been around the tomato season, see, and like you know, as we're all seasoned, didn't we? And he's just come from fucking nowhere. Yeah. And he's bossing everyone around. It's just really weird.
But it's really simple. Let's suppose that he's an infiltrator and he wants to say, we don't need any leaders. Now, everybody, follow me. If that's what he's doing, and everybody says, hey, how about we follow you, and instead of smashing the windows, how about we give them some chocolate biscuit? How about we say, thumbed up by flat earthers? Okay.
I just spread love and peace before I come up with anything, so they know what perspective I'm coming from. But it's not. There's a little bit of, because of the adrenaline, there's an adrenaline burst. It's like I went on last night, and I was puffed out by the end. It was like a night out clubbing or something, there was an adrenaline buzz to it. But everyone gets on this. Basically, I don't want everyone to go steaming in and fucking things up, because if they put limitations on us, all they're going to have to do is just spread the word, and they will put on filters, flat earth on their filters. The word will be spread, and we will be blocked from every fucking where.
Yeah.
It's easy to do, and it's already out in the ether. They know what's going on. All of the YouTubers.
Yeah.
But if they do put a filter on like that, then you can just change the wording. Like the Earth is not.
I know that. You could say globe. Yeah, or something.
Yeah, the globe's a lie, or we're not.
NASA's a lie. Yeah.
Plain Earth.
We're not spinning on a ball.
Yeah, but I tell you what's happening organically, and it's really cool. And by the way, I want to point something out. The first person to do a street interview, an outdoor interview, was not Scottish guys, was not American guys, was not English guys. It was Vincent P. That's the first person that did an interview of somebody in situ. Vincent P, who's here right now. Yes.
He got it as well, didn't he, that guy?
Yeah. He was an air traffic controller, I think it was.
I know.
Here you are.
Satellite maker. Oh, the guy you spoke to.
I remember him. No, he was in a bar.
Yes, Vincent P. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you've been here. Vincent, have you been hearing what I was saying?
No, sorry. Give me 2 seconds, Antonio. 1 moment.
Okay.
I was busy with some crumpets.
You're very hungry now.
You got a thing about crumpets, then.
Wasn't do you know James, Mr. Flat Taxi Chemtrail Rainbow?
Yes.
Didn't he do incognito off camera?
Yeah, he put him on his
quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Quite a while ago.
Yes. So yeah, Vincent. I think it was an airport or something like that. Air traffic controller. I think it was. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was an English guy. He was on a holiday sort of thing.
Vincent, do you hear us now?
Well, I think he worked in Skiffle.
Yes, I can hear you now.
So the guy, do you remember the guy you interviewed the first time that there was an interview of somebody that was not a flat earther by a flat earther?
Oh, you mean in Amsterdam? No, I was there for my work. Yeah.
So who was it?
Hotel. It was an air traffic controller.
Yes, air traffic controller.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's really cool. I just wanted to say it because Vincent is so kind of mellow and chilled and everything that people don't. If you don't know this, people. Oh yeah. Are you going to bring these to the meetup?
That's Pete there in the driver's seat. That's the Pete show last night. They're all different flat earthers, but
are you going to bring these? Martin, are you going to bring these to the meetup?
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
I got Padawan. He's going to pick me up on the way through from Cornwall. In his mother's posh car. It's supposed to be nice. And I'll go Dutch on a petrol. So I got a lift. So
excellent. Excellent. So listen, just so people know this, Vincent P. Say hello, Vincent P.
Hello. I'm here.
Hello.
This guy, Vincent P. In case people didn't already know, he works for an engineering firm making satellites for the European Space Agency.
Yes.
That's what he did for a job. He's a master engineer. He's really good at engineering. And he was making satellites for the European Space Agency and spoke to them on the phone and said to them, tell them the story, Vincent.
Well, I asked them general questions. I got some colleagues, they are engineers too. And we used to use all the different kind of alloys, materials, everything. And we know exactly what they're doing. Expanding, retracting, expanding, retracting. And we know when the breaking point is there. The material can only handle a couple of times that expanding and
stress,
expansion, contraction.
Yeah.
And my question to the European Space Agency was, a lot of questions, by the way, what can I tell my fellow engineers to protect the fake images that we see and the videos on the internet? Because we know what the material is doing, and on the internet are a lot of videos about bubbles in space. Space is fake. The moon landing was fake. Everything is fake. How can I explain to all my colleagues that it's real or whatever? And the answer was, tell them not to watch the stupid videos on the internet. I said, is this your answer to an engineer? You a known engineer? And I asked them a lot of questions about the materials too. No answer. It's just
materials that would fragment if the alloys have different heating, different melting temperatures, and different they become more fragile when they go from frozen to hot.
We tested them, and it's maybe 6 or 7 times, and you got
hairline fractures.
Yeah, fractures, and then it will just explode. It will just break. So my question was, why did we use those alloys and not another kind of alloy? Because this will break And no answer. Just, you know what? We fire you.
Yes, no. Well, this is what. So Vincent P can tell you for sure. Now, it could be as simple as this. The thermosphere, supposed to be 3,000 degrees Celsius, whatever it is, whatever they tell us to believe that it is. But if the satellites that were being manufactured, that genuinely are manufactured, it's not just they receive a paper and then they sign, yeah, we made it, and then they really make them.
Yep.
Maybe it's as simple as this. The alloys can withstand the temperature changes at the elevation that they're going to be hanging on a balloon. On this balloon, the temperature variation is not going to go from melting point to frozen to sub-zero, because all metals are frozen, in case people don't know this. All metals that are solid are frozen at room temperature. That's why they're solid. But if they're floating up there on balloons, like the NASA balloons that they trash cars with when they're launching these satellite balloons, then that's a simple explanation. You've made a satellite that's going to stay within the atmosphere, and temporary variation is not going to cause anything to explode. But then tell him this.
Antonio, there's the other thing. I noticed that some pieces that are made supposed to be for satellites, but I can see them in all the big antennas around. Oh man, they look like the Wi-Fi things. The long, small ones. Yeah, the parts in there. I know for sure that they are in there. So sometimes they ask us to make 1,000 pieces of one kind of just a ring or whatever, and it says on a drawing it's for satellites. It's going to this satellite. It's going there. It's going in orbit, and all the information is there. But I saw it's in all the antennas around the road.
The microwave antennas, do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean the small long ones like Wi-Fi points, but there are it's for the phone for cell phones.
Phone mast antenna.
Yeah. So
phone mast.
Cell towers.
Yeah. Same ring, same materials. So there you go.
Now, do you want to hear one of these completely crazy either prophetic or engaged with strange studies where they're remote viewed? Is that in Brave New World, it mentions the radiation antennas being turned off in the book The Brave New World, okay, which was written in the 1920s and 30s and then published and then so on and so on. In that book, it tells you these antennas will be there in the future, and after having been there for some period of time, they will be switched off. Now, either they can get switched off because a better mode for transmitting information is developed that doesn't cause cancer, or it's switched off to bind everybody to communicating through terrestrial cables, which are so much more controllable and so much more switch offable. You see, right now, people like Tim Osman can just go and buy a phone. Tell their friends, hey, this is my phone. And the security agencies don't know who's bought that phone, especially if he buys it with cash and he leaves his wallet and his other phone at home. When he walks in through the metal detector, they don't know who's walked in. So he goes up to a counter. This is what terrorists do. Real terrorists, people who buy and sell weapons and buy and sell other things, okay? That's what they do. They arrive at a place, they go, they buy a phone, and that's what they use to communicate. Nobody knows who's running that phone, and that's what Timmy Boy does. So they can eliminate that by saying, nope, everybody back to landline. Now let's see you calling a bomb threat. So there you go. Guys, I'm going to go and make a coffee. I got coffee now. Karen, if you can pull up the pictures of your Bigfoot experience or fairy or unicorn or whatever it was that twisted these trees, I'd love for you to share them. And I'm going to go on mute and turn my camera off. Vincent or Chris, would you please take care of Karen?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, but not Poncho. Poncho can't take care of us.
Yes, not Poncho. Definitely not Poncho.
MC Chris.
Hello, Martin.
Hello, Chris. Chris, he's a troop seeker.
Martin, I'll just radar work on a ball, Martin.
Well, that's an intriguing point, that is, actually, mate. You don't work on a ball.
Don't work.
Because it would miss. It don't actually curve, does it, a radar? It's got nothing to set pattern to say, you must dip over this ridge because there's going to be a ridge there. There's nothing to set that. It's put out in a fan pattern that way, not that way. We do not scan the coastline that way because it means to the depths of the fucking sea. That would be pointless. It's not sonar, it's radar. And it projects in a fan-like fashion, so you can see the exact coastline. Ooh, there's a flock of birds will fly past. You can see flocks of birds. You can see rainstorms coming in.
Right.
You can
So
see
if radar don't work on a ball, why is radar shaped like a ball?
Well, they do it on purpose. It's the programming again, isn't it? They just got to stick that fucking dome in anywhere, haven't they? Really. Do you know that stuff I've been into research? Amanda, who is a Raven Wolf, you know, the flat earther, she sent me a link today saying, oh, there's a weird thing, Martin. We had one of those expos in Melbourne, Australia, and you never guess what? Don't tell me. It fucking burnt down. Yeah, it burnt down. Every single one of them burnt down. There's something in that. There really is.
Was A4 going to each of those venues?
I got one more rib than everyone else, so the doctors told me.
You've got one more rib?
Yeah.
A woman told me
I'm a freak of nature. And the joint in the middle, I got a freaky bone. Well, what's called a freaky bone?
Martin, have men got more ribs than women?
Huh?
Have men got more ribs than women?
I don't know if it works like that. I don't know. I got a bone in the middle there, and it's like a lump. Makes my rib cage rock.
Okay, I've asked the wrong person. Chatters at home, everybody listening. Have men got more ribs than women?
Right. Well, I ain't a bitch. Don't even go there.
Again, to the chatters at home, Ute. Have men got more ribs than women?
A man of wisdom. How can men?
I thought Chris Trusticker would have already Googled it and come in from the sidebar by now.
No, because Adam chucked a woman appeared. Men have more. Well, I have more than other men, so I have two more than a woman. There you go. Okay, I'm super freaky. Well, I can't pop my rib cage out and count them for you, can I? I'm just going by what the freaky ass doctors tell me. Also, other anomalies. I'm not going to go into them.
It seems to be a biblical. It seems to be a biblical argument. I don't see any scientific answers. Most of the answers.
It's a myth, guys. It's a myth. As children develop, the gender isn't decided upon until very late. So at first, the fetus has a potential for both, and the bones are already starting to be laid out. Men don't have more ribs. Men have a different the ribs are same. They come out of the spine the same way, but men have a different configuration of ribs, so that our smaller floating ribs are bigger than women's floating ribs, which is why men's abdominals have a slightly different shape to women's abdominals, especially the top 4 abs and the serratus. So that's what it is. Women.
Antonio's got hands-on experience in this area.
I know. My ribs dig in me.
Right, so it's a myth.
Yes.
Right, I'll put that to rest then.
Make it all up.
But we could have had an extra rib, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But Sting had 2 of his ribs removed so he could do a yoga position so he could doodah himself, Martin.
Yeah, then you get on a Channel 5 program like The Boy with 6 Penises or The Boy with 6 Arms. Have you seen that one? I'm not joking either.
What, the same guy that had 6 arms had 6 penises?
No, they were 2 separate guys. It's a small world playing.
Did they marry each other?
It would be perfect.
I'm sorry. Oh, I shouldn't laugh. I'm sorry. Shut up, Vinny. It was a bad one. It was below the belt.
It was flat earthness. It could be being watched by the enemy, and they could splice this together. In fact, we probably are right now.
Martin, there's only E could make him happy. He had 6 willies. Who could make him happy but 3 women? But he found a man with 6 arms.
I know. And there was a guy with 6 legs as well. Spider-Man.
Menage a trois? I'm kidding.
I thought it was, his name is Octopus?
Octopus?
Yeah, he was on a Channel 5 program. Oh. Really freaky. He's worshipped in parts of India. They think he's like a divinity because he's got them. He's like, they say he's the multi-armed version of Krishna. He's got like arms sticking out there, arms sticking out there. It's really freaky to look at. And they worship him. They say he's Krishna.
What, because he's got 8 arms?
Yeah, because of the multi-armed vision of Krishna. People go deep enough into Krishna consciousness, they will perceive that in their mind's eye. They see the multi-armed version of Krishna will portray himself to you. And he's just, with his floaty arms. I got it.
What happens if we just borrow that mascot, that guy in the Caribbean?
Little do they all know that this boy with 6 arms is always sitting with his back up to a wardrobe.
Oh, really?
Oh, I'm joking. I haven't seen it,
What about the boy under the tree, the breatharian, who's lived on nothing and he's still there? Yeah. And this is a reality. They literally put a perimeter around him. They put so nobody could go in and feed him or water even. Cameras on him round the clock. He never budged. And he said that he could get what he wanted from the maybe bacteria in the air or whatever, just breatharian, and never needed nothing in a year.
It was done on a professor of biology. A professor of biology in either Germany, Austria, or Holland, one of those countries that have a Germanic language. He learned about this. He heard about this. He studied this. He went through the different processes. He got to the stage of being able to do it, to just live, taking a sip of water from time to time, not eating at all. Okay, this sounds crazy. And yeah, so did the flat earth before we realized. Yeah. He put himself forward for being tested, and he was tested, and the test lasted, I think it was 6 weeks, 7 weeks, no food whatsoever, 24 hours continuous cameras on him, nobody sneaking him food. He wasn't eating the inside of his cheeks. There are people who can do this. D. Murphy 25 did this himself for about 2 years. He don't lose
no body mass either, and this kid under the trees lost. He's still. You think he'd be like a Biafran or something, but he's not lost no body.
Yes, this is incredible. And if you meet Dave Murphy, he's not a wraith of a guy. He's a freaking very stocky, well-built guy. So this is one of those things. Now, if somebody out there wants to dedicate themselves to this, go for it. Document it. Make a video. Show us. Because all that we've heard is, apart from D. Murphy, who as a flat earther, I think as a genuine bona fide flat earther, he's not allowed to lie. Other than that, it's reports, more remote reports. So if anybody out there wants to do this and document it and show it, there is a guy, I think his name is RHR or something like that. Three letters, and he's an Indian guy. He's been explaining it. He's been doing it for 40 years. Crazy stuff. So just one of those things. Same as sun gazing. People say, "Oh, it's."
You know about Ramanuja, the mathematician, and they're only just deciphering his math. You know about him? He was some sort of savant, lived in southern India in the 1920s, and he just, as a kid, he came out with these unbelievable equations, and apparently went straight into academia. They couldn't make head or tail of it, and only started to make stuff out of it now. Do you know about him?
Is this the guy after whom they filmed The Life of Pi?
Yeah, yeah. He's just a super genius. Not only that, in so many fields. He's just an incredible person. It's just his life. Yeah, it's him.
Yeah, cool. Martin, your last thing. Before you came on, I was telling people your hangout that you didn't know was live. I was there watching along with everybody else, where you were making a video that you were going to put up, but you didn't realize it was live. It was really cool because it felt very much like, before you said that, it seemed like you knew that it was live. No. What you were describing with those photographs, it's really good. It's really interesting, you know?
I got a lot of it, a hell of a lot of it. It goes so deep. I'm not joking. It's incredible. It blows my mind. There's something in this. And it just goes multi-layered. And then I thought, well, documentary on last night, she had the telly on, 2-parter about the Great Fire of London. And that's something I'm intrigued in, because I went to Pudding Lane and nobody died. You know, the Great Conflagration, the whole city burned down. But, you know, Samuel Pepys in Suffolk, you know, writes a memoir, sees the lead pouring off St. Paul's roof, and then what happens? They commission Sir Christopher Wren to knock up 90-odd churches, rebuild the whole of Georgian Centre, knock down all the slums, get rid of the whole area, and basically, so I think it was some sort of operation to get rid of all the slums, possibly, but more than that, Christopher Wren, as you know, Hyatt Mason, everything else, but he went into St. Paul's, the burnt down one, right, to lay a set line to start the rebuild of the St. Paul's you see today. And he said, this is the story anyway, and he said to one of the labourers, go and fetch me some stone, I want to lay down a plumb line, okay? The boy come back with a bit of stone and said, would this do? And he looked at it and it said resurgise in Latin, which is resurgence, to rise from the flames like the phoenix. And they got that stone. Now you can see it in St. Paul's Cathedral. It's inlaid, that stone over the door, resurgence that Sir Christopher Wren was given by this boy. Real weird story, but I've seen all these places and nothing rings true with the architecture. You know, everything is temporary now, aren't right? They never replicate anything of the beauty of old. They're buried in the past like they never existed, but everything is stone and solid. The Victorian buildings are still up in the city, but everything now is temporary. Any unit is made of prefab. Nothing's built to last. Now that bugs me. Why ain't they built in anything to last? Nothing is solid structure anymore.
The modern built houses have a guarantee of 15 and 20 years.
15 years? I'm aware, yeah.
What? You're going to buy a house for 150 to 200,000 pounds? Where the builders say after 15 years you might need to do some structural fixing to it. Not cosmetic, but say, what there?
I used to work in construction on new build sites years ago when I was younger, and they really don't. Their whole projects, the whole the whole aim of the project is just a money-making thing. It's to get the job done as fast and as cheaply as possible and as quickly as possible, so they can have a big turnover, and that's the whole point of it. And that's on that's on a very big, I won't mention the name, but a very, very big construction conglomerate in Europe that were in the area that I was living in at the time. And the profit margins are incredible. It costs around about anywhere between £20,000 and £40,000, depending on obviously the location and the size and the details of the house, to make a new build. And then they go and sell it for anywhere between, the cheapest brand new house is over 100,000. I don't know when it was back then, but the profit margins are incredible.
Yeah, and the old houses. An ex-girlfriend of mine lived in a house that was built in 1900s, when the Titanic.
1909. Yeah, that time.
1909. That's when her house was built, and it's solid as anything.
Yeah.
So what's going on? If we think of the days of the Roman, think of this. Okay, this is timeline, and you can doubt it as much as you want. You can be Pete Shea if you want. This is how it goes. Okay, tribes lived for a long time and had their own ways of living in Britannia. I'm going to talk about Britannia. Same in Spain. Very similar story in Spain. Different cultures over mountains, different languages, different all kinds of things. The Romans come along, beat the shit out of them. First, by the way, the Romans didn't come with a sword. The Romans first came with trade. We're going to make things better for you. We can take all of this forest and give you this in exchange. And people are like, great. And some people will be saying no, because that's where our ancestors live, So then you'd have battles. But anyway, the Romans come and take over and modernize. And after the Romans come and take over and modernize and lay down, they lay down laws that before we didn't have laws. Now we have laws, okay? Then, over a period of time, including religion and including how to educate people, don't take them out onto a field and show them what tracks look like and what animal causes those tracks and how they move and how... No. Sit them down and tell them with words. Anyway, so Romans, technology and development. The Romans bugger off. Then everything decays and declines to feudal age with kings and bandits and small groups of merry men in forests, kidnapping and pillaging and all kinds of stuff, to cities. So we have cities, we have trams, we have trains, we have all kinds of stuff. In the early 1900s, we had all kinds of stuff, and people could buy homes outright. In the 1900s, in the 1920s and 30s, people would work, would live with their parents, would find somebody they love, they would buy a place, get married, they would buy the place outright. Now, we've had this slow decay, so nobody can afford to buy the place outright. You can't get an education for free. Back then, people got an education for free. All kinds of stuff going on, and it's like we're not noticing. Now houses are being built. I'm not joking. Somebody on a motorbike could drive through them, through the wall. Somebody on a motorbike right through.
I could take that house down with a sledgehammer in a couple of hours, and I'm actually not joking.
Yeah, yes, it's true. You can do it with a lump hammer. You could do it with a lump hammer. Honestly, there was a guy. I was on a scaffold, and there was one of the builders who was doing the top, finishing off the top of the course. He dropped one of his tools down in between the interior and exterior brickwork, and the site manager ordered me to cut a section out of one of the internal supporting walls to retrieve the tool. Yeah, seriously. And they did patch it up afterwards.
You can just keep the cross out, Chris. You knock that bottom cross out. I was working in a job up in Ebervale, right? Listen to this. I work in stonemasonry, right? When I was a stonemason, and then I heard all these sirens coming out of nowhere, and I go down to the street, and there is like the whole building on the corner, which was a Victorian conservative building, conservative hall, miners sort of municipal hall, had collapsed. What had happened? I'd gone to the shops in the morning. There was a boy cutting out the course to put damp course in, a new layer of damp course in the bottom of the course, and he's hacking out with a Kango hammer. I went past. I talked to him. I said, "Where are you from?" He said, "I'm Cardiff boy." "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm Ely boy." When I'm Lanrummy. We spudded like that. I walked off. An hour, 2 hours later, the building fell down on top of him and killed him outright. I shit you not, guys. He fucking cut the course out, and the whole building came down, and it was stone like that, big Victorian stone. though. Fucking stunning bad, I tell you.
Let me just...
There's 4 of them in there, track.
Let me just point something out. There's somebody in chat called Nikki Loves. This hangout is dedicated to her. If you look in the description, there's a link to her channel. She went out of her way to make a video to bring to my attention that a moderator had banned her on this channel. Okay, so I don't know who that moderator was, but I've now made her a moderator herself, so she won't be banned. But she actually went out of her way. She sent me a message on the other channel telling me. I went to see her page, see who she was. I saw that she has a video made specifically for me that she made on the 12th of May, or uploaded on the 12th of May. Since then, she's not been able to comment because somebody blocked her. So I just wanted to point out she's in the chat. I've now made her a mod, and thank you very much for going out of your way. Thank you. Sorry, back to what we were saying. Oh shit! I thought I dropped then.
Track buildings are nowadays.
Yeah. Hey, my studio's in a 1920s building.
Yeah, this is a 1937, opened by the Queen and King, though. Queen Mary and King George opened this. Plaque outside.
Yeah. Listen, guys, I think I might wrap this up. I'm hungry. Vincent made me hungry ages ago, going on about crumbs.
I got strawberries and cream, I have. Oh.
I might have to go to Tesco.
I just came back with a cup of coffee and you just told me that you're hungry.
Yes, I am hungry.
I got strawberries now.
Good strawberries.
So, Poncho and Vincent, do you want to make your announcement at all?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Well, not now.
Pete's muted. Tell him he's muted, Vincent.
Poncho, keep me hanging.
Oh yeah, me and Vincent are getting married in Blackpool.
Yes.
First gay marriage.
They're going to be a civil partnership. They're not actually gay, but they're going to be a civil partnership so that Vincent can live in the UK. They might have to kiss from time to time, but that's all okay.
I can do that. Just make sure you understand, Vince. Give it
Poncho, did you invite this?
Like you did the other night.
Poncho, you really read my mind then, didn't you?
I know, Vince, they called me a migrant, mate. But him.
Yeah. No.
Who invited this actor here?
Yes. Hey, everybody. Did you know I'm an actor? Apparently, I'm a crisis actor or not a crisis actor, or just
mate. I was in Doctor Who. Apparently, I'd been recognised.
Oh.
I went down to the floor of Broadwood. Apparently.
You were in Doctor Who.
Yeah. Well, they make a year, don't they?
Were you one of the monsters? One of the baddies?
Well, I got filming me out there with the Dalek, but in my fairness, I mean, my B&Q orange overall, looking like a right fucking numpty. So no acting.
Yeah. So
sorry. If you want to wrap it up, it's okay. But I thought Karen was going to show us.
Yes, of course. I'm not going to wrap it up. I will just sit here hungry whilst Karen tells us.
Go on.
Are you sure? Are you sure you want to hear about this again?
Yes. Just show people. Don't tell them. Right. Nobody say the word. Nobody say anything. Just show, and then at the end we'll tell them what you're showing. Okay?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't even want me to describe it as I'm showing it?
Yes, but don't use those words. Just describe it. But describe it as many ways as you want. Just don't say the word. And whilst Karen is talking to her daughter, Curly Anna, I'm going to point out that way back when people accused me of being a voice actor. Say, yeah, right. Then I'm now either a different kind of actor or a crisis actor. It's like a crisis actor, somebody who's involved in one of these crises things. If somebody's got footage of me in one of these crises things, tell me. I
got it. I recorded you yesterday.
Brilliant. Can you show me? All right, here we are. Karen, I'm going to present you to everyone. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Chris. Okay, what are we looking at?
That is a footprint. This would be the heel. This is the toes. And I didn't use anything for scale. This is the first footprint I ever found, and I just took a picture of it without using anything for scale. But it's bigger than my husband's outdoor boot.
Okay, so that's definitely a horse or a unicorn.
Right. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or a panda.
Or a panda. Yes. So okay, next one. No words. Oh,
no. There was Poncho. He was walking there with balloons.
It's Sasquatch.
Look at this.
Yeah, he broke a tree on the way through. He's a big Sasquatch.
What's this then, Karen?
Yeah, it's Blair Witch Project.
Yes, Blair Witch Project. or that film with I forget what it's called. Okay, yeah.
Okay,
that's just it's an
Sasquatch was trying to make a gravestone lot. He was
trying to keep you out, Karen. It was Indian burial ground or some such shit, or maybe just that where the Bilderbergers go and have their gay dues or whatever they do. Morning, like Antarctica.
X marks the spot, Martin.
I have other pictures in this folder, but I'll just show my pictures unless you want to see other pictures too.
Yeah, no, show all of them.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And don't talk over Karen when she's talking.
I can start at the beginning then. Here's one.
Oh, is the picture underneath that a picture of cookies?
No, yeah, they're cookies shaped like footprints.
Yeah, thanks. You know I'm hungry. Thanks for putting that there subliminally to the side. Okay.
Plaster casts.
You go curry now, just please.
And some of these pictures I got from a research group I'm in. Here's a before and after that somebody caught. Here you can see the face on the right. And this is the after of the same spot, just to show that it's not pareidolia, which is when you see faces and things that aren't faces.
Yeah.
This is an actual.
Have you got the flyer?
Creature. Yes. Somewhere here.
This is very cool. The flyer.
Flyer?
When you
Mothman?
Watch.
Or Jersey Devil?
No, look. Oh, can you zoom in?
This shows the how the leg moves when they walk, the shin lift, the stride.
Yes.
The angle.
Got a bit of a black on him. Whoa.
You see, we have a longer femur than tibia in general. You can have slight distortions. You can have people who have quite a longer femur and a shorter tibia, or vice versa. But these creatures apparently have a longer tibia.
Okay, so this is that X structure that was on my property. It's not up anymore, but it was there. Luckily, I got pictures of it.
What's that?
That is another photograph I got from my research group.
Can you?
That's for real.
Make it bigger?
I'm not sure about that one.
But can you make it bigger anyway?
Yeah.
Because that could simply have been taken with a really good zoom from somewhere.
Yeah.
By somebody a bit nervous who zoomed on the plants rather than on the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to see the flyer. I want everybody to see the flyer.
You want me to go to the flyer? Let me see.
Yeah. What's this?
Sasquatch alert.
U.S. Forest Service Bulletin number 7 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? What does it say?
National Forest visitors are warned that recent Sasquatch sightings have been reported to the U.S. Forest Service in and around the area of Big Pine Creek, including both upper and lower elevations. Campers and hikers are advised to keep a close lookout and report any sightings to campground hosts or district manager. If confronted by a Sasquatch, stay calm and do not run. If possible, take a photograph and note the area where sighted. Most sightings have predominantly occurred at night. Therefore, any unnecessary activity beyond the perimeter of your immediate campsite after dark is highly discouraged.
A 15-foot Sasquatch with arms that can bend trees, and you're going to get your camera out and take a picture of it.
Well, you could ask it to take a selfie. It's got longer arms than you. Got a really good frame.
Why on earth would they issue a warning like that, which seems to be fairly, serious, if they didn't take these things seriously? Why on earth would they even issue a warning like that?
Yeah, I mean, for skeptics, they could say, "Oh, come on, people have just been going camping there and saying, hey, let's all of us separate from each other." Maybe it's some college kids said, "I'll go between these days, you go these many weeks, and we'll all report having seen things," and then they'll make a flyer. Maybe that's what happened. What's this one?
That is another flyer I found. It's another campground giving a warning about recent reports of Sasquatch sightings in Black Mountain Preserve and the Putney Mountain areas. I'm not sure where that is. We do not know if they are true. If you see something, please don't panic. Be especially attentive for loud noises in the underbrush, scrambling noises on or near ledge areas, dark figures in the shadows on two legs, hairy two-legged animals. And then it says, if you see something, do not attempt to approach, do not separate from group, try to get a photo if possible, and reporting a sighting, call that number.
I don't think they've got a history of harming people anyway, have they? In any cases, has there been any reports of people being harmed?
No.
I haven't heard any.
No, there's a lot of reports of charge bluffs where like they will charge at you like to try to scare you out of their area, run at you like kind of growling and snorting and stuff, but there's no reports of anybody actually being harmed by one.
So let's place ourselves in the scenario. you're by a brook, okay? You're finished eating. You're camping with some friends or on your own, okay? And you're cleaning the dishes, and suddenly you get a feeling.
There's a knock on the window.
Yeah, something. You feel observed, and you look over your shoulder, and there across a creek, looking right at you, it's one of these Bigfoots. So you think, I'm gonna take a picture. Where's my camera? And you grab your camera, and then as you're looking down in your pouch for your camera, you hear a sound, and you look up, and the thing is running at you like a bull. Like, yeah.
Oh, don't scare me. I was just getting used to the fact he was looking at me.
Say again?
Don't scare me. I was just getting used to the fact that he's looking at me.
Yeah, but whilst you're looking for your camera and you look up and it's running at you, saying, I'm going to freaking get. So that's why there's not that many photos, maybe.
I've never seen that one where he was out in the woods. And
famous one, yeah.
Behind a pack of brown bears. It was a mother and cubs. And pictures progressively get closer and closer and closer until, honestly, it's like 100 meters or so from these bears, the babies and the mother. And then the last shot is of this charging grizzly bear. You know?
Serious business then.
Not to the bear is something like 0 to 30 in 0 seconds, in 1 second.
Yeah. A woman got chased in Britain by a panther today. It was on the front page of the Mail.
Chased by a what?
Panther.
What, a black panther?
Black panther.
On the bottom.
I seen one myself out the Vale of Glamorgan when I was building, when I was working on this barn restoration thing, and I was just leaning on the scaffold, and I seen it walk across where the gate was open. It walked past from the hedgerow. I just seen it. I've clearly seen it. Because there's so many mansions out there, like, you know, football players and the like, and they fucking keep keeping these wild animals until they get out. I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah. Check the papers, front page. Whoa.
You know, if you were a panther, you'd be pissed off so much because you'd be like, where the hell's that freaking sun and where the hell am I? It's like, what the?
Right, I'm going to do panther tracking next.
I saw something in Lincolnshire when I was driving, and at the time I was working a lot and running my own business, so I was totally compass mentis. And at first I thought it was a black Labrador, but then when I thought about it, it didn't move anything like a dog would. And I was that shocked at the time that I pulled over and I went to the nearest houses. There was 2 houses, and knocked on the door, and I said, have you got a dog? I've just seen it running across the road. I had to brake, and they said, no, none of us have got dogs around here. And I said, do you know anybody who's got a black Labrador? And they're like, no, because it was about the size of a black Labrador, a small black Labrador, but it didn't really move anything like it. But I just remember being that shocked by it that I felt compelled to go and knock on the doors of the people that were there. But I don't know, I can't say it was a panther, to be honest. I don't know what it was.
It could have been a small stallion, a thoroughbred stallion. Did you hear this tune?
Black Beauty. She's a dark horse.
Oh, I used to love that.
So did I. Karen, did you have Black Beauty in America?
Of course.
Yes.
You know, it was nowhere near as good as The Littlest Hobo.
Oh, take me home, country road, to the place I belong.
No. Oh, here you are, Pete. Check out the picture. Look at that.
Who did that? Bigfoot did that. He tied that tree in a knot.
Yeah, this is a branch I found. It was torn off a tree and tied in a knot.
He's made it into a love heart shape. He must love you, Karen.
Yeah. And have you got the other one of the tree that's twisted?
This photo. Look
at that. Look at that, guys. Martin, look at that knot. Look at the elbow. That has been twisted and bent.
Well, there ain't no kids that high, and they wouldn't be that strong. Wow.
Yeah, that would take some extreme force to do that. What? No wind would do that, I don't think. Not to that kind of twist.
I tried on a small twig is hard.
Imagine that giving you a Chinese burn.
Your arm would come off.
Imagine giving you an hand job, Martin.
Well, the Yeti wears white boots.
That's not a Yeti. It's got Wellington.
And a scarf.
Oh, yeah, no, these are
That's my mom, not a Yeti, knucklehead.
It's planted a whole bunch of straight sticks. It's just...
So it's planted a load of straight sticks and twisted a tree at a right angle. Is this Sasquatch into Feng Shui?
I don't know. I find weird stuff in my woods all the time.
And placed around the pool area.
What's the last photo, Karen, then? With a nice colour. The last one before that.
He wants to see
colourful.
This one?
No, the colourful one. Green.
Underneath.
This one? Okay. This is the tree that that one shook outside when I was outside one day. This is my foot showing you. It's a big tree. Like I tried to shake it and I couldn't do it, but this tree was being shaken like a leaf.
What?
Right after my daughter said, there's a Bigfoot over there by the logs, Mommy, don't let it get me. And she grabbed my leg. And then I looked up and I didn't see anything. And I just kind of ignored it. I thought she was just being like a kid, imagining things. And then a minute later, I saw a tree, this tree on my yard. It's about 100 feet from my house, and it was shaking violently. And there was no wind that day. And I went into the woods and I found the tree and I took a picture of it. And this is the tree that was being shook. And it's a dead tree, but it's still,
the branches come down, falling down, dead branches.
Yeah, but it's still, like my husband tried to shake it. He could barely make it move.
Wow.
And it was being shook violently. Like I could hear it cracking.
Oh, scary. I'm getting EGBGs.
So if anybody's seen Zane,
look at this one.
6 hours, can you call Antonio or Karen? We're looking for Zane. Been missing for the last 48 hours.
Look at that one there. Look at that area, the flattened.
Yeah. So this is a footprint I found in my backyard. The other one was on my property too, but this one is right in my backyard.
It's a leopard.
That's me. That's my shoes. I was in my pajamas that morning. I ran in the house and got the camera and took a picture of it.
Just wait a second, Martin. You got your glasses on the wrong way round. Put them on the right way. Come on.
Sorry.
But look at the width of it.
Anyway,
it's nuts. This is incredible.
It doesn't photograph well, but when I saw it, it immediately jumped out at me as a footprint because there were toe marks. Like here, there's toe impressions here, and the whole area, like it was flattened, and you could see the acorns were pushed into the ground, and the rocks were pushed into the ground. Whatever stepped on it smushed everything into the ground, and the ground is like hard frozen here. This is during the winter, so the ground was frozen. Like right here, you can see where the water froze overnight and pushed its way out of the soil here, and then whatever was walking stood here and flattened everything.
So it's a good thing you didn't tidy that up, to show these, because then people would accuse you of having strategically moved things away.
No, I didn't change anything. I went and got the camera and took pictures, and that's me putting my finger in the toe mark. Where's the measure? Here's the tape measure, so you could see how long it is. It's about 16 inches long.
So that's what they call it, Bigfoot. I mean, it's a shame that it's only got one big foot and one kind of tiny foot.
About 7 inches wide.
Any hair? Have you ever seen any hair?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, I tell you what would be freaky. You know how sometimes you get chimps and gorillas that have that genetic disorder where they don't actually have any hair follicles. Imagine seeing one of these things nude. That would be so freaky.
That would be freaky.
You get your pen and etch book out and start drawing it, you would. Just hang tight for me and show me your hip bone.
An albino Yeti.
I would. Okay, what are we looking at here?
So for the next time when we meet each other, we're gonna see a naked Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm. We're going naked Sasquatch tracking, Vinny. Not going to be naked too, but as soon as we smell the smell of wet dog, we know we're close.
It's time to run
inches, that's ridiculous.
Fast. Been flop about whack around. Start. Don't run with naked. It's not safe. That's why Spartans are all slow.
Right. Now it's a neck and neck tie between Pillbox rolling some dragon bones in and us finding a Sasquatch. It's neck and neck.
Good evidence, I think. This is hard evidence from someone we know.
Martin, you live in the Welsh Valleys.
Hey, sorry guys, let me just point something out. We have Jonathan Daughtry out there saying that he can't link, even though he's a mod, mms1.bis.link. So he can't put an MMS link in for some reason.
Why can't
he? That's I don't know. He's just saying, geez, I can't. I'm trying to link.
Off the front bit where it says watch with a question mark, just the link.
Yeah, just the watch bit.
How's that possible? Wait a minute. Where is he?
No. Listen, what he's written is, where is it? Okay. Wow, I can't put mms1.bis link.
I can see that, yes.
Yeah, so, yeah, interesting.
Very interesting.
And Candy's telling you something, Vincent, that she was having a very civil conversation with, I think, Yvette. That's just my guess.
Sorry.
I don't know. That's just my guess. She said, you won't guess who. And I'm saying, I bet.
You won't guess who? Well, open your eyes. Close your ears.
Here's a thought. Let's address the chat, guys. What do you think?
Let's address the chat, right?
Yeah, Karen, if you want to carry on scrolling through photos, that'd be really cool.
If you've got any pictures of coffins or vampires, that'd be quite apt.
Fortunately, I haven't come across any of those.
Quite like sweaty wetty.
Vampire impression.
Oh, Chris Seeker just posted the link, the same link for Jonathan Doherty wants.
Yes, he just made a space between B, I, and Z.
Yep, there it is, people.
Hey, Tesla's Apple.
Oh, Tesla's Apple. I want to say only one thing to you.
Space cake.
Yeah, there you go.
You want some space cake?
Ooh, I love space cake.
As I'm out together, dancing cheek to cheek.
So, would you, people in the chat, there's 161 people there, will you please type X if you're planning to join us on the 24th through to the 25th for the sun tracking. This time it will be simultaneous readings, so whatever time you come, as soon as your sun is casting a shadow, and we have other people that have a sun casting a shadow, will you please type X if you're planning to join us? And poor Volkay is saying that she has no idea what space cake is.
Well, makes you a mess for a couple of days.
They give it to astronauts and then make them believe that they've been somewhere that they haven't.
Yes, and they wash it down with wee.
Oh, forget the meat booyaka.
Yeah, brilliant.
Oh, how wicked.
Cool. FPV Angel X to watch. Okay. Brilliant. Most of the people. Cool. The whole thing, it's a Saturday through to a Sunday. Oh, God. GeoShifter's there. Everybody, just act normal.
Oh, hell.
It's his birthday, by the way.
Oh, you're joking.
Happy birthday, Gio.
It didn't come up. Why did it come up?
Happy birthday,
GeoShifter. Yeah, happy birthday. Space cake.
As long as you're not 33.
GeoShifter, check your Skype. I have sent you an ad if you would like to join.
Oh, gee.
I just got a really important message.
Go on, tell us.
Live now, rocket launch.
Oh, really? I thought they cancelled it.
I thought they fucking stopped it, so the third has said.
Watch it now. Watch an Ariana S5 rocket blast off live.
Would we get a copyright strike if we streamed it?
Let's raid the hangout.
Would we get a copyright strike if we streamed the thing?
Well, everyone else been doing it all day, Ed.
Well, Jaren is always doing it. Normally, Jaren is doing it. Sorry,
Jaren streams it. Yeah, I got you. And no, it's not GeoShifter's birthday, and he's not joining us because he said that we all smell. Apparently, don't know how he could come from there.
It's me and it's Gio.
Because we are in the same house.
Yes, no, it's because it's too late over there. I totally understood. He's got children, Don't want to wake up the children.
Know, but we love you anyway.
Yeah, and happy birthday, even though it's not your birthday.
Yeah, for when it comes, and then I can say properly. Oh, SpaceX launched live in DDWD.
Yvette, Antonio, really? Yvette?
You guys.
I don't know. Who was it then, Candy?
I don't know if you know who this person is.
Well, say it, and then I'll tell you whether I know or not.
Well, he said he sent you a request on Skype and you won't accept it. His name's Lewis. He was on my panel really drunk one night, and then he was on my panel with Pete, and I booted him off.
Lewis Hackett.
It was me, Pete, and Vincent and Sergey, and I had to kick him off. Well, he's been an asshole. Like, I sent him a book of a reply, literally, because he was talking shit about Vinny and Pete and Serge, and I sent him a whole book of a reply. And then he's been like kind of nice, and then like commenting on through Skype on live streams because he's banned from everywhere because he still believes that the earth is a globe. Well, he was actually very, very nice, and he apologized to all of you. I just want to get that out there. I don't care if you accept it or not, but I'm just saying, he said he has like a personality issue to where he does that. Like he'll attack people, and I had to explain to him why personal character assassination is never going to be a positive thing, because in his mind he really thinks that it's part of a debate and it should be that way, and it gives positive results. Like, so his mind isn't like ours, and that, you know what I'm saying? So I had to like swallow that before I could rationally talk to him. But he was like me and you were talking now. That's the conversation we had, just like that, about the flat earth.
So his personality disorder thing is being an asshole.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, he's an average glober. They've all got the same problem.
That's what I said. I was like, why is it? We're not like that.
That doesn't sound like a personality disorder. That just sounds like an asshole. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and a stalker.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like we don't character assassinate globers unless they give us a reason to first. He's like, well, you can't have a debate without character assassination. I said, bull. I said, I'm gonna link you and timestamp the 2 debates that I had with my best friend's husband. You know what I'm saying? We did that that was the most civil debate I've ever seen in my life, even when compared to the presidential.
Society.
Which debate are you talking about?
When my family came on, remember, Puerto Rican? Well, he looks black. Everybody thinks he's black. His name's Andres.
Yes. Yeah.
Most civil 2 debates. Both times he came on, I was shocked, very shocked, because he has a very strong personality like me. So for him to be totally calm, cool, and collected, we still go back and forth every single day, all day on Facebook. Every time I post something, he floods my comments.
Yeah.
But now I have a lot of flat earth people on my Facebook, so now they jumped in it too. So it's not just me.
Argue. He's an ass, is what he is.
Wait, are you talking about Lewis or my family?
Lewis, of course.
I'm talking about somebody else now. We're talking about, I don't think you were around yet, B. You were still gone whenever I had my family on the panel, and because he's a hardcore baller. I mean, hardcore. It doesn't even matter what you present to him. He'll give you some bullshit behind it. But he's so indoctrinated.
No matter what you present to him, he will say no.
Yeah, I told him, I said, you're like my fucking science book in the 7th grade regurgitating to me. Like, it's like you took every single word of every single page and you memorized it.
Hey, sorry, let me just interrupt a second. Kyle Anderson has just pledged $5 to my Patreon, so I'm going to...
He pledged to mine too. Thank you, Kyle. I texted him, but I don't think I hit send.
I'm that much closer to getting the gyroscope, and what I'm planning to do with the gyroscope, people, is I'm going to have it spinning with a motor hooked onto the battery, so no cable hanging off anywhere, okay? Same way as John Savage did. I'm going to have it hanging, balanced, and I'm going to have it on the gimbal, and the gimbal is going to be stood on a plate, and the plate is going to be on top of water in a bowl of water. And then I'm going to record this for 6 hours. And then I will do the same thing, but instead of having it on a gimbal on a plate, which they can say, oh, well, the extra force that it would require, no. So I'm then going to do the same experiment, but this time suspended on a thread. There you go.
Sorry, Antonio.
Yes.
2 seconds. Please unhighlight Karen.
Karen, yes, sorry. So gyroscope spinning on a plate, and the plate is on top of some water, which is in a bowl. Film 6 hours, and then the same thing with the gyroscope. It's going to take a while to get it completely straight and balanced, because once you get it a little bit off, it's going to try to turn. Okay, so get it completely straight and balanced, suspended from a thread, and film again for 6 hours. Let's see whether there's drift or not, and then that's it. Bye bye globe, and bye bye physics excuse. No physics department in the world has ever done this experiment and made it public. I'm pretty sure they have done this experiment, but for sure they have not made it public. Okay, so we have from 200 years ago Foucault's explanation that he did it on his hand cranked gyroscope, spinning at 200, 300 revolutions per second, versus these per minute, versus these new, which spin at 12,000. So, there you go. So, thank you, Carl Anderson. We're that much closer.
How much do you need for the gyroscope?
It's about $250. It's just over. It's 215 pounds. So kind of close to $300.
Well, Antonio,
yes.
Can you put your picture on every video that you have?
Yeah, but I always forget.
So which video I can find it?
No, Antonio, you can set it to where it defaults every single time the same thing, because that's what I did.
But I don't know how to do that. I will ask Vincent to tell me how to do that later.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. And if people don't want to donate or don't trust Patreon, I totally understand. I'm going to do it anyway. If people donate, I will just be able to do it sooner. I will be able to do it without any donations, just like I'll be able to go to America to find Tim Osman. I'm going to do it both ways. This way I just get to do it sooner.
The tickets sold out today for the conference.
I'm not going to the conference. I'm loitering
I'm just saying,
watching for a guy who looks exactly like Jason Carl.
I already got a ticket.
Cool.
I have an extra ticket, but I'm saving it.
I know, that's why I'm saying I already got a ticket.
Like this. Yeah.
Oh, it's like that, is it, Vinny? You just dumping me for the pink-haired bed in North Carolina.
Okay,
sorry,
I see you later, Pancho. I will leave now.
Okay, well, listen, guys. Oh, now I really am going to wrap up because I am hungry. And also,
You should always wrap up. Safe sex, buddy. Wrap it up.
I'm watching it. I just spammed the brilliant.
If you're gonna wrap it up, sorry, but I'm not gonna pledge your Patreon.
What? I don't know what's going on. Wait.
Wow.
I'm wrapping it up. Tomorrow, I'm going to do something that is not Flat Earth related on this channel. Tomorrow, what I'm going to do is a drawing tutorial. That's what I'm going to do. It's going to be a hangout, so I need to get some food and then test the cameras and everything. So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow, because learning to see kind of important, and once you learn to see without actually seeing, you can visualize much better. We all do this anyway, but you can structure your visualizations. So I'm going to do this. It's not for the Flat Earth. If Flat Earthers want to watch, brilliant. If not, no problem. But if you see a hangout by me that's called something like art tutorial or drawing tutorial, you'll know that that's what it is. So there you go. That's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, and it is not Flat Earth related. Although I will be telling the model that the Earth is flat. I say, you're not falling off there because you're not spinning. So there you go. Okay, guys. Candy, thank you very much. Chris, thank you very much. Karen, thank you very much. Brian, who's no longer here, thank you very much. Martin Lidke, thank you, dude. Poncho Pete, thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, leave the best till last. Why don't you, Antonio? Yeah, everybody else gets to go first before me.
Hey, the last is going to be Vincent, so it's not too soon. Yes.
See you guys. I'm on a scene up. I'm watching rockets pretend to go to space.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm going to put that on.
Watch it. Shit, I'm spamming it. I'm in a chat now. They hate me. Brilliant.
Okay. See you all in there. Bye.
Hey, hold on. Somebody just said, Candy, please help. Somebody's trying to get Vinny's attention in the chat. So there you go. You got 5 minutes with him. Bye, y'all.
Right. Bye, all. Karen, see you later, okay?
All right, see you later.
We'll talk in the next couple of days regarding a video for the sun tracking.
Yes, okay.
Yes, please, Karen.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Bye.
I'm going to start a stream, y'all. So.